have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Protect what matters most, your home or business, with A1 rodent proofing and pest control. That mouse in your kitchen? It's never just one. Rodents can destroy insulation, chew wires, and cause thousands in damage. Don't wait for an emergency. Call for a free inspection. A1 offers poison-free solutions, eco-friendly sanitizing, and a pest-free guarantee. Available 24/7 serving the Bay Area. Call 925-503-7271 or visit a1rodentproofing.com. Get peace of mind and keep pests out for good.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
Oh, what a big day. We got the Kings and the Pelicans, of course, tonight. We take you up to game night. And we also have opening night in Sacramento for the Athletics and the Astros. Alan, you know, those Astros, they've been pounding the ball pretty good lately.
Well, they always do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Can you get me?
Yeah.
Am I here? There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They always do. They always do. So now...
What happened there? Did Matt George cross you up on which mic
No,
was
Jay,
which?
this is the mic that I used yesterday. I was using that one all yesterday.
Nah, actually, you're wrong, brother. You're on 3 right now. You were using 2 yesterday.
Okay, whatever. Fix it. Stupid.
Where's the engineers when you
Yeah,
need?
fix it, man.
Well, it's Friday. They're not here.
Yeah.
That's right. Somebody
man,
fix
you know,
it,
people say this place is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that, right?
Yes.
I don't know whether it is, but Friday is definitely a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the way it is in a lot of businesses now on
You know,
Fridays?
I don't know.
Since
I mean,
the pandemic,
you don't got to worry about. It's crazy. You know, Tuesday, it's like a whole different building. I can't find parking.
I know.
Gotta park on the side.
We'll have meetings on Tuesday.
Friday, I get VIP.
Yeah.
I'm in the garage. I can do whatever I want on Friday.
And during the pandemic, of course, people learned, hey, I can work from home. So Fridays, I'm going home. Oh, you going to work?
You know,
I don't know.
Well, you know, it's funny because we're going to do our fair or foul in the show, and one of the fair or fouls, to kind of spoil it, at least one of them, the player or the fans at Wrigley they were working. They were on their laptops, right? So they're on their laptops, and the broadcast, of course, caught them. And I would never, ever, 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 ever complain about this job, but it is something that is different from tech, where you can, quote unquote, work from home wherever you want. You know, I've worked on BART. You can do whatever you want. You're locked in here.
Some people on this station do shows from
that's also true.
New York.
Yeah, from the kebab part in New York. That's right. That is true.
In their backyards.
Yeah, we got the pool
across the pond.
Well, no.
Hasn't that been done? I believe that's been done.
I don't recall. Maybe it's historically, and once or twice.
Well, today we have Jared Reynolds joining us. We also have Mike Tannenbaum, former NFL GM, who's an ESPN analyst now. Paul Gutierrez is going to join us to talk about the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
And bottom of the hour, the Phantom is going to join us. He, of course, among other things, is the play-by-play voice of the Lincoln Potters. And last night was a big night for the Potters.
It was.
With Daniel Susak getting not one, not two, 3 hits in his his debut at the plate. I know he'd actually debuted the previous game against San Diego, but did not have a plate appearance.
Yeah, and you really can't draw up a better debut than what went down last night. I mean, you just want to get your first hit. He got that out the way.
Right.
And it was just very simple hitting, a very simple piece of hitting. That's what we saw time and time again.
Poor Patrick Bailey, right? Thanks.
Learn how to hit. ABS, now Daniel Susac. Daniel Susac, 24 years old. He's about to be 25 in May. I don't know why your A's or somebody's A's, they did not protect him in that Rule 5 draft. They just drafted him 19th overall in the first round a couple years ago. So that's not typically what happens. A lot of scouts were confused. You can protect a certain number of players, right? And they run out of options.
Those Rule 5 things are tricky.
It gets very convoluted, but the bottom line is they gave up on a high ceiling hitting catcher. We don't know about, the catching perspective.
He won a challenge last night.
They did.
He's freaking Johnny Bench.
That's right. So I don't know what the A's were thinking. I know the A's just have so much young talent that maybe they don't know what to do with it.
So Susac is a Rule 5 pick by the Giants?
Yeah, it turned into a trade. It was,
okay.
Like I said, it all gets confusing.
Because Rule 5 guys, it's like you bring them up and then you either got to keep them up with a big club.
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is, because they had another catcher, Haas, who they had to move on from. And it was very clear that they were going to go with Susac because of the situation there. And most catcher tandems, guys, they don't typically have two young guys. Normally, it's your guy, and then it's a wily vet to just give you a day off. Because here's the thing, Whitey, Bailey gets his day off, but this is like the only position where you go 3 for 3 and you might not start the next day because you're not, the starting catcher. But you have to start. And the other part of it is Bailey is allegedly is a switch hitter.
Well,
he hits on both sides.
Too.
Right. So if
there's
there's
I don't want to throw to that guy, then it don't matter how many hits you had the night before.
That's also true too. So that is the only position on the field where you can reach base safely 4 times with 3 of them being hits, and you will not. And there's a chance you might not play the next day.
Well, speaking of the Giants, we got to clarify something here. As you know, if you've been listening to Alan, and Alan's been on the station a couple years now, whatever it's been, and if you've listened, you know he's very smart. I noticed that when I had the pleasure of working with him, doing some shifts in San Francisco. I was like, wow, this guy's really smart. Sometimes he may be too smart for his own good. Sometimes, like a pitcher that's very crafty, he'll try to sneak one by you and thinks, no one's noticing.
Okay.
Throw a little curveball in, throw a little Zach Greinke, little 45-mile-an-hour nothing ball.
Yeah,
so
knuckle.
he tried to sneak one by us today already. He texted Jay and I think he posted it on social media. And I think we got to call him to the carpet on this, Jay. Alan says the Giants are one of the top 3 brands in all of baseball. Nothing against Giants or Giants fans. We have a lot of Giants fans hopefully listening. Nothing against the Giants, but a top 3 brand in baseball, Alan? The Giants? What?
I look at it like this, okay? Like the draft right now.
Do you have anything to say, Jay, before he starts?
No, let me go first.
Well,
I go first.
I'm going to say this, and I'm pretty much going to bow out, because the one thing I'm not going to do is argue a mood point with somebody that might be trying to go viral on something that's stupid.
I'm not trying
right?
to go viral.
I've been in the game way too long to see Kardashian fans are always going to be Kardashian fans, and you're never going to win, right?
Right.
The Beehive, you're never going to beat them. Rihanna's crew, you're never going to get them. The Nicki Minaj or whatever her fans are. Like, some things are just, you don't need to argue because real is real and true is true. So with that being said, experiences of my life have taught me this. You got to know where you're coming from. You got to know where you came from to know where you're going. You got to know your position in life to know where your role is. With that being said, go ahead, Alan.
I don't know what you just said.
Go
Jay.
ahead, man. Because you're a Giants fan. That's the problem.
This is very simple.
Okay.
It's very similar to, I don't know. You could even take the NBA draft. And I know the NBA draft has moved around a little bit, sure. But you have AJ DeBansa. There's a clear-cut 3, right? Whatever the case is. There's been a clear-cut 3 or 4.
Sure.
This whole time. And then at 5, that's where things get a little bit squirrely for the most part. To me, it's the same conversation, all right? In baseball, in Major League Baseball, you have the Yankees.
Okay, the Yankees, DeBansa?
Sure, yes. I think
All
that's
right.
fair. Now, there were more in the draft, so it's not a perfect comparison. But
Okay.
Yankees, Dodgers, and then let's argue.
Alan
That's where
Styles
I'm at.
on X. Yankees, Dodgers.
Come on, man.
After that, Giants, Red Sox, Cubs, Phillies. Any of them could be third.
Come on, man. You need to stop.
It's an easy argument between the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Giants, and the Phillies. Take your pick. Last night, the San Francisco Giants took over the baseball world. You had Daniel Susak's nephew on TMZ. On TMZ. Everybody was John Boy, Barstool, ESPN, Bleacher Report, all of them. Every time. Last season, Drew Gilbert biting shoulders, whatever the jerseys, whatever he was doing. People love when the Giants get this thing rolling. Then you throw the Kinder's Blend.
Come on, stop.
Which is Tony Vitello.
You need to stop.
Into the mix.
You selling college coaches compared to the
Let me ask you
Bartman?
this. Who did they kick off the season with, guys? Who did they
The
kick
Yankees.
off the season? Yankees, Giants.
Right.
In Oracle Park, King Street. I used to work 210 King Street. You take the BART.
How much you pay for parking?
I didn't pay for it. I took the BART.
Right, because y'all ain't had no parking.
Top selling MLB jerseys entering 2026. Let's see how many Giants we got on.
Here we go.
This is not.
This is
hold on.
financials. This is part of it.
No.
This is the peak.
No. See the
barometer?
Here we go.
No,
Here we go.
Okay, go ahead. But this is not a good.
Shohei, Yamamoto, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Mookie Betts,
Front runners.
Nolan Arenado, Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, Roman Anthony, Red Sox, Pete Crow Armstrong, Cubs, Kyle Schwarber, Phillies, Kike Hernandez, Dodgers, Bryce Harper, Phillies, Juan Soto,
Hold
Mets.
on. Kike Hernandez.
Yes.
Come on, man.
What
You
are we
arguing one
talking
person on the
about?
list, see the name
What are we
15.
talking about?
Keep it going, Whitey. Keep
Juan
going.
Soto, Mets.
Oh.
Vladdy Jr., Jays. Francisco Lindor, Mets. I don't think you had the Mets on your list.
No, he didn't.
Are we talking
Triple check
about,
that.
Are
Triple
we
check
talking
that.
about star power?
Let's see.
You
Ronald
said the
Acuna
Mets?
Jr., Braves. Paul Skeens, Pirates. Josh Naylor, Mariners. Christian Yelich, Brewers. End of list.
This has nothing to do with what I'm talking
It's part of it, though. It's part. The
part.
icons are part of it.
It's part.
I think this is the thing, and I started with all that with saying is this. Know your position, know your role. Nothing against Giants fans. All love to you guys. I'm willing to argue 5. The fact of the matter is the Yankees are the Yankees. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They got two sides of the country fans. We got Spanish fans with Venezuela. We got Jackie Robinson. Icon. There's an icon. Shohei. That's a whole different conversation. You talk about the Red Sox. You got the monster, you got the ballpark, you got the Babe Ruth, you got the drought, the championship drought, you got Pesky Poe, you got all these super fans, Stephen King, Matt Damon, the list goes on. We talk about the Cubs, Harry Carey, take me out to the ball game, Bartman, Northside, the L. There's too many things to argue.
Baby.
The Ivy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't like the Cubs.
That's a top 4. That's automatic. That's a top 4. We don't even need to discuss those things. The Giants were third fiddle in their own city. Hence why they piggybacked to come out here with the Dodgers. That's 4 right
it's
there.
a good brand.
Let's talk about 5.
We
Let's
can
talk about 5.
We can talk, like I said, it's Dodgers, it's Yankees.
Come on, man.
And then you can argue the rest.
There's not no argument.
I
There
agree with
is.
there is. We all know there's an
not an
inherent,
argument.
unfair, but inherent East Coast bias.
It is,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and it's historic. We
Very
get all
prevalent
that
with baseball.
But I'm
Yes.
telling you,
The country started on the East Coast.
they look. I know. I've been to the
Mets,
I've been to
Mets,
the no,
Mets.
we're not doing
They're in the neck.
The Mets don't even exist without the Giants. They
True.
literally took the orange from the Giants.
I know
so
that.
I'm not
Yeah.
hearing that.
Well, you guys slid to the West Coast as
Yeah.
stepchildren, and the Mets came in '62 to replace you guys, who came out '58, right? So,
Yeah, and
all
they've done a terrible job of replacing it. A terrible job. Okay.
They only got 2 less championships, with 1 actually,
We can
because you only
talk-
got 3.
Look, I get the
on
Cubs.
the West Coast.
I get the Cubs. Okay. I get the Cubs. We can talk Red Sox. I
Why are we
understand
talking
that.
Red Sox?
Green Monster.
Right, come on, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
then,
a team I do not
okay,
like
thank
the
you,
Red
Jay.
Sox.
Well, then we can lock in.
No.
Wait,
Why are we
Lock and
discussing
Key?
them? They're a top 4. That's a different tier. You guys aren't on that tier.
Jay's
Jay.
saying why? Yeah, well, it's
Jay.
not.
There's
It's
nothing to
an
even have a
argument.
conversation.
It's an argument.
I hate the Red Sox. I hate the Dodgers. I hate the Cubs. I hate the Yankees. You know why? Because they're all the evil empire. they're bigger than anything else.
Look,
unfortunately, there's just not an argument to that.
Look, there's historic, right? Now, here's the thing. You got your boomers. You got Gen X. You got millennials. You got Gen Z. And you got whatever the hell Kyle is. That's what the list is. That's what the list is. Maybe it's generational. Because there's one thing I know. That the Giants, maybe it's because of the championships, I don't know. But last night, I've never seen a team take over the baseball world
because they were
like the Giants did last night.
Come on, stop, man.
They had Drew Gilbert. Drew Gilbert was hitting 202.
The Giants are a top 3 baseball brand on the left coast.
On the West Coast.
Yes, on the left coast.
They're 2 on the West. Who could you even fathom to even create?
Ask the young lady who sits right there.
The who?
The show before
the Mariners?
That's a lot of Mariners on this list.
People
crazy about the Mariners.
But I think that falls into Allen's argument. I think if you talk to anybody that's 40 and over, the Giants aren't even in the top 5 conversation. I think if you're talking to anybody that's 40 and under, that's why I started this whole thing is know your position and know your role. Hey. Bro, come on. Honestly, the Giants are not even close to where the Cubs are. They're not even close to who's the most famous Giant fan? To you.
Giant fan?
Giant fan. Like who every single time are they showcasing what's popping off in Oracle?
Well, we're a collective.
But that's my point, is when you look around, when you talk about iconic moments, you talk about icons, you talk about fan base, you talk about financial literacy, like all these things, the Giants fall behind the Red Sox and the Cubs, and it's not close.
I think they might
So that's
fall
another tier.
behind the Phillies, too.
No.
I think you can now, that's why I say, for me, those 4 is the top 4. That's a tier. And now we start to talk about 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I'm here to have that conversation. I'm here to have that conversation.
Just because Jimmy Fallon did one Red Sox movie.
It means something.
Look, I love Jacoby Ellsbury. Oh, fever pitch. Come on, man.
Dude, they got multiple, the Wahlbergs. They got so many fans that are Red Sox fans.
It's all connected. It's all connected to the same East Coast. You just throw all them East Coasters in a pile.
I do think that the Giants are trying to revive their brand. And I think that's one of the reasons they made the bold moves they've made.
It is
and I
revived.
think their early signs are, wow, they may be having some success.
Revived.
I know it's painfully early.
You know, they're throwing Gatorade on fans last night. I mean, it's just everybody wants to be there.
Savannah Bananas, baby. This is Savannah Bananas.
Everybody wants to be out there.
Every press conference is.
Where's Jung Hoo Lee on that list? I know he's on that list.
I didn't see him on the list.
He's on the list.
I'll write him on there if you want.
No, he's on the list. He's on the list.
Giants, Mets.
Let me see that list.
Giants, Mets.
I'm going to go Draper on that list. Give me the list.
Phillies.
I just thought it was kind of an unbiased way.
You wrote that list. You chat GPT.
Who was that? Who was that? Fanatics, Tops. Who put that out?
Yeah, who put that
MLB?
out?
Pick it up, Alan.
I'm not picking that thing up. Where's Jung
I don't know how
Lee?
Nolan Arenado got on there.
And if you did historically, now we're talking about Willie Mays. Now we're talking about Buster.
We're talking about top brand now.
We're talking about
Buster's not an icon.
We're talking about expanding all of it. Hold on a second.
Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, Willie McCovey. Those are your icons.
And let's not sleep.
Those are your icons, fella.
Let's not sleep.
Man, come
on what Timmy Lincecum did.
Man, you need to stop.
No,
you truly need to stop.
The Beard, Brian Wilson, Timmy Lincecum, let Timmy, you know what? We can't say it on these airways. It was a brand. It was a movement. It was Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence with the scooter. We all had Razor scooters because of Hunter Pence.
Dude, you lived in the Bay Area. Nobody in Chicago talking about Hunter Pence and a scooter.
They were.
They were, bro. Stop it, man. You need to get out a little more.
I'll give you 4.
5. You're starting. The conversation begins for the Giants, the Mets, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Braves.
I'll give you arrow up. I'll give you arrow up at the end of Giants, wherever you put them. Arrow up. That's good.
You give me 5, I'll live with 5. Give me 5.
I think you're in the conversation for 5.
It's locked. Where is the lock and key sound? It's locked, man.
Okay, why? This real fast, 20 seconds or less. Mm-hmm. Why are the Giants more iconic than the Mets? For you.
The Giants are more iconic than the Mets because when you think, when somebody says the word, imagine owning a type of year. You say even year, who do you think of? You think of the Giants. Nobody else has a coined term like that.
Y2K.
The Giants.
What about the Phillies?
Every year to this day, just like Deontay Wilder said, to this day.
Do you really think around the country people are talking about the even year thing?
Call Jim Duquette. Call Jim Duquette. 2026. You say, hey, Jim, it's an even year. What do you think? Oh, well, let's see what the Giants do. To this day. They're not talking about the Mets. What
about the Phillies?
The Phillies.
Bryce Harper. J-Ro.
Nothing.
Ryan
they're choke
Howard.
artists.
Utley.
They have 1 year, and they're choke artists. And they had to make a whole documentary about how bad Trey Turner was. They made a whole we make documentaries about chips. They make documentaries about Trey Turner in a slump? What?
What about the Braves?
No, Jay. They won one. Their best. They won one without Acuna. They won without Acuna. The whole thing, come on, Jay.
What about 9-5? What about Maddox, Glavine, Avery? What about Smokes?
That was a good time.
Otis Nixon.
Call Bomani Jones. He'll tell you.
Terry Pendleton.
Call him. Call him up.
This is back in the days when Dion played.
The Giants own
Otis Nixon.
The millennial world. The Giants own that.
Giants
and we know the millennials, that's the largest, the strongest group. Okay? That moves from, what are they? The oldest is 40 now. The youngest, what do you got, Whitey?
Here's what I think you're overlooking, and I understand where you're coming from. But after that year when they won 107, things fell off with Farhan.
Yeah.
Things really fell off. You know that year people were crazy about
and
the Giants.
baseball.
They're
and
ahead of
baseball,
schedule.
Hold on.
But
and
since
baseball
then,
fell off.
it's been really disappointing. Giants fans have been very angry.
I have been.
Carlos Correa, what happened?
Yeah.
So the Giants now are trying to get back to those days.
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe they're having some success, but I think the brand has fallen off in the last, what is they missed the playoffs 7 of 8 years.
And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because as the brand
they've
fell off,
slid.
what happened, fellas? What happened? The brand fell off. Baseball fell off.
No, sir.
No, baseball
Yes,
actually has gotten
It's
more
rising.
popular.
No.
It's rising.
No. They rode together. Together.
Baseball's really popular right
Thriving,
now.
my brother.
And and you turn on the TV and the Giants, who are not even in the third wild card, you got to look at Drew Gilbert biting Matt Chapman's jersey. Because it's iconic.
So are we talking about? Are we just talking about within the like you said, whatever Kyle is? Are we talking within the last 20 years?
Yeah.
All I know
because that's
is
what it
this,
sounds like.
Jay,
You're arguing the last 20 years.
If we want to land on 5, then I'll give you.
You're in conversation for 5.
No.
You're in conversation.
If you want to lock in, where's the lock sound? If you want to.
We can't put that in there because
no, it's locked.
Bolt cutters are out, brother.
No, we got the master lock.
Look it up. Your team has won 3 or 4. You know, after a terrible start, the Giants have won 3 or 4.
That don't help they brand, Whitey.
I know, but I'm just trying to calm them down a little bit.
No, it does help.
I don't want to have
brand.
to get good at a tranquillizer.
No, it does help the brand.
So
and I'm glad that you guys understand.
Things are coming around.
Top 5 brand in baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, we didn't say that.
No, and honestly,
you could get back there by the end of this year.
And honestly,
maybe.
The fact that, look, you could have the same situation. Oh, this random rookie, right? 3 little singles. Oh, me, oh my.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it. No. If that happened in Chicago, nobody cares.
The Lakers are contenders because they had a rough night last night.
Well, they got beat down, and then Luka got hurt, but then I saw a report that he could have returned if it was closer. So everybody's keeping an eye on Luka because obviously that's big. And I'm not making I didn't make the joke, but did you see somebody said, how much longer until Luka starts limping? Because I guess that's a thing.
When they're waiting on, yeah.
And then it went viral because he eventually started limping. Now, obviously, he went out with the hamstring, so we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it was a little coincidental. So we'll see. Hopefully, Hopefully it was that, and it's not an actual injury.
And they just got disemboweled. And the Kings, meanwhile, they see your lottery odds, Alan, and they laugh at them.
That's right.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't. A's are in town. You can't get upstaged in your own city. So guarantee. Oh, we got Oscar Robertson on deck. We got the A's in town. Oh, we won a beam at Sutter Health Park. Oh, DeMar. We got 40 minutes for DeMar tonight.
Boy, fired up today, baby.
Yes.
I didn't even have coffee today.
Preach to him, Alan.
So don't you worry. Everybody, and I still don't understand why. I'm still seeing these arguments. Oh, well, what are the Kings supposed to do? We know what they're supposed to do, but you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
I'm still seeing these arguments, Jay. Jim Knight, Giants ahead of the Cardinals? Ooh.
Oh,
no.
Oh, stop it. Pujols?
No.
What else you got?
And the man.
Stan the man, Bob
Stan
Gibson.
the man?
Lou Brock.
Come on, man. The Cardinals.
Rick Ankiel.
Look, no disrespect. You could throw them in the top.
The Archers.
Throw the Birdies in the top 10.
The Arches. I forgot about the Arches.
Just throw them in the top 10, man.
Are they above the Braves?
They're above the Braves.
Yachty Molina.
Yachty?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Buster.
The Cardinals even have a better Molina than the Giants.
Yachty's in a similar conversation with Buster. They're in the same breath. We grew up arguing. I grew up arguing Buster.
The Cardinals are similar to the Giants in this sense. The Cardinals at one point were like one of the premier brands in baseball, and right now they're not.
No. And and if we take it to new age, nobody's checking for the Cardinals now. Yeah, maybe, what is it, Johnny Bench back in the day? That the Reds?
That's the Reds, yeah.
Yeah, they're all red now.
What?
They're just red team. Like, that's what I'm saying. This is how kids think.
Yeah.
This is how the kids think.
Sure.
Everybody knows the Giants.
Uh-huh.
Everybody. Everybody.
Who's everybody?
I saw yesterday that, the Giants are putting on a unicorn. You know what I mean? A unicorn mask or whatever they're doing. You know what I saw on social media? Man, Drew Gilbert can't wait to get his hands on that unicorn. People, they have
I'm a Giant fan.
Right.
You don't know that. I mean, probably, but
also, wow, Giants fans post stuff on X. It's the top brand in baseball.
And I follow them because I'm a Giants fan.
If we're throwing the Cardinals out here, come on, bro.
Jim just asked. He asked the question.
Then just throw the Reds and the Pirates. Now we're just doing let's just
White
throw
Sox.
Them all. Yeah, throw them all, man. Get Timmy Anderson to get popped again. Throw them all in here, man.
Kansas City Royals.
Oh, my goodness. Throw them in there.
That's out to Brett Saberhagen.
Yeah. We're the Astros. Throw them in there, too.
Did you see what happened to the Royals yesterday, Jay?
I did.
Okay. So they had, it was so windy. They have those fountains out in the outfield.
Right.
Al and I were looking at the video of this today. The wind was blowing so hard that it was blowing the water over the center field camera, and you couldn't watch the game.
Shouts out to Kauffman Stadium, right?
Yeah. Nice stadium.
Might be a bigger brand than the Giants. I'm not sure.
The Royals?
They do have the pine tar incident.
The Royals.
George Brett.
Yeah, keep going.
Wow, yeah.
Keep going. And the Giants already own the Royals. 2014. Madison Bumgarner.
Buddy Biancalana.
Madison Bumgarner, the best World Series pitching performance in the history of the sport.
Against the Royals.
Yeah,
checkmate.
Checkmate. It's over.
Phantom, play-by-play voice of the Lincoln Potters, a team that Daniel Susak used to play for. Phantom joins us next on Sactown Sports.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with N&S Tractor and Case Construction and Courtyard by Marriott Sacramento Cal Expo. More info at citvfest.com.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Phantom going to join us in just a moment here. Phantom, play-by-play voice of the Potters. Phantom also an original Sacramento Kings season ticket holder, Alan. Way back in the first Arco. Original. Yeah. Going way, way back. Yeah. We don't have your microphone.
I switched back.
You switched?
Yeah, Jay. There you go. Jay, I'm going to stay here.
Okay.
I'm staying here, Jay, because, I don't want to. I want to do the right thing.
Just like your argument, very elusive.
No.
Yeah.
The argument was solid, and that's the thing. I've never been on the debate team. I didn't have one, or maybe I just completely missed it because I was doing other extracurriculars. But, to go up against two non-Giants fans, and, nowadays they have all these debate shows, not just First Take, but I'm talking, you go on YouTube and you got Jubilee and all these things. What I did in that first segment, I don't think a lot of people could do. So to come out.
What did you do?
I won.
Oh, you did?
I won.
All right. Yeah, that was impressive.
You had the Giants at 7. Jay had the Giants at 12. Mm-hmm. And I haggled you all the way to 5.
Let's go to Phantom Tration.
Let's go.
Yeah. He used to have a regular shift on this station. He's
I know.
Local radio legend, and he's the play-by-play voice of the Lincoln Potters. The Phantom with us, Mark. I don't know if it's Mark Lowe or Mark Lau. The Phantom. How are you today, Phantom?
I'm not sure myself. I'm fine. How you doing, guys?
Good. How do you feel about Alan's contention that the Giants are a top 5 brand in all of baseball?
Well, I think that the Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, and Red Sox are your top 4, no doubt about it. I got the Giants right there next to maybe the Braves and maybe one or two others right in that next category there. So maybe top 5 works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love you, Phantom. See, that's why
I didn't say it did work. I said maybe it works.
Well, no. Hold on. No, we heard you, Phantom. We got you. Phantom, obviously it was a huge night for Daniel Susac. And, being that he was with the Potters, just tell us a little bit the type of player he was. Phantom, a lot of people were a bit confused with how the A's went about this. Former first-round pick, U of A, going to was a Wildcat. Tell us about what you know about Daniel Susac and how cool that was last night.
Well, I went back to the scorebooks from many years gone by, Alan, and the crazy thing that I found out first is that Daniel Susac, his first 3 at-bats for the Potters way back in 2019, he was 3 for 3 with a walk. So that was a little bit eerie. That was a little bit strange. Mm-hmm. But he played with the Potters for about parts of 3 summers. His first one was just after he got out of high school, and it was amazing that he even played with the Potters. We were just how happy to have him out there. He was an amazing player, obviously. He got to play for a little bit, and then he'd have to go off. His first year, he played for us, and then I was interviewing him, and he said he had to leave right after the game to go to Wrigley Field to play in an all-star game, and then he was going the next week to Petco Park to play in another all-star game. And I said, well, at least you started off at McBean, so that was a nice stretch for him. Yeah. But, he was just fantastic. And then he came back. The second year he came back, the second summer, we were surprised he came back, and he was just a dominant player and just a great guy to be around. Everybody loved him. All the teammates loved him. And then for some reason he came back for a third summer, and the thing I remember about that is he came back, and all of a sudden he had been told to develop his left-handed because they're going to make him a switch hitter. So he only hit left-handed for the whole summer, and I think he ended up about 350 left-handed. So he was just fantastic to have him out here, and we were all really excited, obviously, when he got drafted and everything, and followed him. And, things went a little sideways, and sometimes I guess it's a numbers game, but he got his chance, and last night it was just fantastic to see, and I know Potter Nation was really excited.
Yeah, Phantom, I got to ask you, and I know you're modest about this kind of stuff, but as far as defensively, how much did you help him? I mean, how much did you help craft his, the skills you need to become a major league backstop like he is?
Let's just say he wasn't a finished product when I got to him, and just leave it at that. Okay. There were several things that I might have mentioned to him, very gently. And Whitey, I know you're a coach, and and I know Alan and Jay, they have a lot of baseball experience, so you can't just beat the kid over the head with it.
Right.
But you just make little sins here and there, like, is that the way I would throw that? I don't know. Things like that.
Right.
He really took to it really quickly.
Yeah. He's a better catcher than I was when I was like 4 years old, right? Because I actually didn't catch the ball.
Well, the problem with you is your hat kept falling over your eyes, and it was really tough to pitch to you in that situation.
Right.
Daniel did not have that problem.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Phantom, I think right now, these guys get branded so early, and for Daniel Susac to be, around the same age as Patrick Bailey, a lot of these tandems in Major League Baseball, there's a younger guy who is the future, their everyday guy, and then they just find some, older vet catcher that will pop in and, fill in once however many days when the main catcher needs a break. If the Giants, because of, how they got Daniel Susac, he's got to stay up on the roster. If the Giants kind of run dare I say, a catcher tandem with Daniel Susac and Patrick Bailey, what type of, flexibility does that give them and makes them a bit unique from other teams where you normally see, okay, we got our guy and then we got our elder statesman that we just hope that he runs into a ball every now and then?
Yeah, it's definitely a different outlook, Alan, but I think I don't want to say it's like the old days, but there was a time where you had two players who played one position, and you just let them play and see who's better, and that's the one you played. I don't know. Sometimes now there's, the agendas and everything. That's not the way it works out. But, what a great situation to have two young guys at one of the most important positions on the field and have two young guys who will grow up and learn in the system and hopefully kind of push each other. I know Daniel's not afraid of competition, and I would assume that Patrick Bailey isn't either. So I think it's a perfect scenario not only for the Giants and Giants fans who get to watch two guys grow up in the organization, but it's probably going to make them both better players as well.
Phantom, for those who don't know, tell us about the Potters and the league they're in, and I'm sure you guys are getting ready for another season, right?
Yeah, we're gearing up for another season. It starts, I think, May 23rd is our first game. Whitey, hopefully you'll come out and do a game with me again this summer, as you have a couple of times. And Alan and Jay, you guys are always invited to come on out. It's a summer collegiate wood bat league. Playing against other teams in Northern California and some in the Bay Area. And it's Division I, it's Division II and III, and some junior college players. And in Daniel's case, years ago, high school players who come out there, and they, a lot of them are sent by their schools to come out and get summer ball, get some reps in summer. Sometimes it's kids that redshirted or something or didn't get a lot of playing time, and they're looking for places to play. But it's been in Lincoln. This is our 10th year now. It's my 9th, but it's our 10th year out here in Lincoln, and it's grown from something that was small back in 2017 to, the last 2 or 3 years has just been huge. The crowds have been fantastic. The talent on the field is great. This, I believe, Daniel is the first Potter to go pro or to go into the big club. But we've played teams that have had, we play Healdsburg all the time. They've had player Andrew Vaughn is a Healdsburg player, and Dylan Beavers, who's making a noise now. He's a Healdsburg player. So you're going to see that kind of competition when you come out, and the Potters are a great part of the Lincoln neighborhood of the community, and really looking forward to the 10th season. I know they have a lot of big things planned, and we just hope everybody comes out. It's very family friendly. It's very affordable. There are adult beverages, so Alan, you'll be fine. No problem out there. And there's just a lot going on.
Alan will probably want to either play or at least take BP out there.
Yeah, go ahead, Phantom.
Alan, I can totally arrange that, and I can arrange for you to be part of any of the. We have superhero nights. People dress up in superhero costumes. I can get you into that if you'd like. I know. Superman seems to fit you. I don't know.
That's right.
But I can get you involved in all that stuff. But yeah, no problem. I can get you in the booth and I can get you on the field. Anything else is up to you.
Wow. I need that BP, Phantom, because there's a wind blow out to right because I got to show Whitey that I still got it a little bit, Phantom. It's interesting because of Daniel Susac, where he's from. Everybody wants to see this, Phantom. And let me know if you think that it will happen, right? This is the big leagues, so they're not going to do things just because it's a good story. But how cool would it be to see Logan Webb from Rockland pitch to Daniel Susac from Roseville?
Well, it'd be pretty cool. My son played against Logan Webb in Little League, and I announced for Daniel Susac on the Potters, so it would be very, very cool. And, yeah, you're right. People are definitely going to probably see that. Mm-hmm. And I think, it was great last night watching the Susac family in the stands. I know they went viral all over the place for their, let's say, unrestrained reaction to what was going on. Totally could understand that. Totally, we knew them a little bit. Obviously, they were out at the park when Daniel was playing, and so just a great story. That's one of the great stories in sports is when something like that happens, and just everybody except for the other team, I guess, everybody really feels good about it.
All right, we're already working on Drive Guys Night at McBean. Yeah, and maybe we had some snack ideas too. I know you have the Peacocks, the mascot. Had like peacock pizza or the Potter pole, a hot dog. What do you think, Alan?
Oh, I'm in.
I'm sorry, what was that? The Potter pole? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it'd be a Polish dog. And hey, get your Potter pole.
Okay, yeah.
Get your Potter pole. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll bring mini helmets for the nachos. We're good. We're good, Phantom.
Yeah, we got you covered on that front.
I like what you're doing, guys. My only problem is amongst the three. I know how much I've heard, already today in the show, how much the competitive juices flow. If I pick one of you to throw out the first pitch, is the other two going to be a little upset?
Yes.
Yeah. Leave it. Whitey gets it. Whitey gets to throw it out just so I can watch from the sideline, Phantom, and I can judge.
We'll figure all that out.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure all that out. Thank you, Phantom.
You guys are going to figure that out.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations. A big day for the Potters and a big season coming. Thanks, Phantom. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Have a great show, guys.
All right. Thank you very much. The voice of the Potters. Mm-hmm. It is fun up there.
I have not been, but that is a team, right? You have the Humboldt Crabs and the Marysville Black Sox as well.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who all is in the league.
Well, I'm just saying those are all similar type teams to the Potters.
Is that a league that when you were playing you would have considered?
Yes,
definitely in the summer.
Definitely, that's right up the alley, and like you said, that's probably where all the guys. USF, Cal, Sac State, San Jose State. You'll see a lot of guys like that out there.
We'll come back with what else is going on with the Kings. Also, why are Major League players shrinking? It's the numbers are alarming. We'll have those for you next on Sactown Sports.
Live stream the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports 1140. Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Welcome to the SoFi NBA Play-In Tournament.
Here we come!
6 crucial games to determine which teams make the NBA playoffs.
They're headed to the playoffs. Let's go!
And which teams watching from home.
That's game!
With the stakes so high, every possession of every game means everything. Yeah! The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, but you've got to win to get in.
Yes, sir!
The SoFi NBA Play-In Tournament, April 14th through the 17th, only on Prime.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work, trucks, and vans to fuel-efficient efficient sedans and SUVs. We have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward.
Sacramento. Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance Vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Thinking about starting weight loss treatment? GoodRx is here to help. We offer FDA-approved GLP-1 medications prescribed by licensed providers, including the Wegovy tablet, with straightforward pricing and pickup at your local pharmacy or delivery to your door. All from America's #1 prescription app. Go to goodrx.com/weight loss to get started. GoodRx is not insurance. Cancel anytime. #1 prescription app ranked by a third-party study.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Alan Stiles predicting the beam will be lit tonight, right? You predicting a Kings win over the Pelicans?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to go down. I don't know. I've been surprised, and I told you this. I've been surprised every time the Kings have gotten handled by the Pelicans. Because the Pelicans, I mean, they got Zion, they got DeJounte Murray back. I really like DeJounte Murray. I like the dog in him.
Yeah.
I think the Kings maybe could have used him back in the day. Kind of redundant with
me and Draper
De'Aaron,
were both really on board with him. But then
yeah.
he didn't get a lot better. Once he got traded, he just didn't really improve a lot.
Right. And he's another one where it's the shooting is kind of So I don't know. I get surprised every time the Pelicans handle the Kings the way they've handled them, but the Kings really just have DeMar and then the youngins. That's really it. So you would think, and they're another team where you got to check the injury report every game, but assuming they have their normal pieces, yeah, the Pelicans should win, but it's just a team that why should I trust them?
They're really in the middle of it because they can't gain anything.
Right.
They can't get into the play-in. But they also have given up their draft pick, so they don't gain anything by losing. So really in kind of that netherworld, purgatory.
Maybe because I know Derek Queen is in the mix, he might get first team all rookie. He will definitely be on the all rookie team, which is just a bunch of rookies.
I like that matchup, him and Max.
I do. It's fun. I know the first time they played, we didn't even really see it. The second time was better. Second time there was a little bit of back and forth, but maybe you could walk away with this if Derek Queen was in the running for, and I know it's just 1 year, but in the running for Rookie of the Year or something like that. But, I mean, he's on the outskirts of first team. So I really, again, this whole armchair GM thing, I don't think I'm as smart as every GM out there, but you look at their decision and you're just kind of scratching your head. If you did that, Whitey, for this draft and then we'll see what happens in 2027. That's one thing. But to do it right before 2026 draft makes no sense.
Yeah. I think Max there's a really good chance he's going to make one of the teams, probably second team all rookie. He might make first team. If he doesn't make first team, I know a lot of people around here are going to be upset. But if he does make second team all rookie for a guy that was picked in the second round, that's a win.
Yeah, without a doubt.
If that's what it comes to, that's as disappointed as some people will be, that's a W.
I mean, Whitey, let's think about it like this. If Neek made second team, I think we would have felt pretty good about it, right? The fact that one of them is making it, obviously, and the reality is, with Neek going in the bottom of the first round and then Maxime going fairly high in the second round, the gap really isn't that big. Yes, there's a big difference between being drafted in the first and second round, but the numbers between where one player was picked and the other is not a canyon. It's not that large. So if one of them make all rookie, I think we would be excited. I think we might have assumed it would be Neek just based on draft location, but it's not as if we're talking about if Neek was drafted where Devin was drafted and then you had Maxime drafted where he was drafted, then that would be, whoa, I mean, that's a huge difference. But, I mean, he was taken later in the first round and Maxime was pretty early in the second, so it's really not that big of a gap, White.
I know that Michael Scotto, friend of the show, had a Kings update. There was some video on a Kings update. Ooh, here we go. On the veterans, did he tell us anything new, Alan? What do we know today that we didn't know yesterday about the Kings and the direction of the franchise?
The only thing, and this is not actually what he said, but it's almost process of elimination. The only thing that I took away from what Mike Scotto said is that everything is moving according to plan as far as who they will shop over the summer. He did not bring up Russell Westbrook, who will be a free agent, so maybe why bring him up in
DeMar,
that, you know,
and
that,
Malik he brought up, right?
Yeah, he brought up DeMar, like you said. He brought up Malik, and he brought up Zach LaVine, and this is what we heard from Sam Amick months ago, that Zach LaVine's going to pick up the option. But and he said a lot of the same things. Zach LaVine's going to pick up the option. They're going to shop him. There was a conversation with Toronto. Those might pick back up. DeMar DeRozan, maybe a contender will be looking. And then he brought up Malik Monk at the end, and he said basically the Kings have a busy summer ahead of them, and if there is a team out there that is looking for offense, call the Kings.
I have to think a lot of these teams are looking at it going, you're stuck with those guys. We're just not going to give you what you think is value. So I think the Kings, the whole thing will be on hold. Hopefully they'll be able to move somebody. I'm wondering, I don't think this is the case, but the thought did cross my mind. Are they playing a guy like DeMar so much, again, because they think maybe it'll help generate interest in the offseason? I don't think so, but it's one of the things I've thought of as I've tried to figure out, all right, what are they doing now?
You and I have been on the same page with the showcase stuff, even though we've had on a lot of different people from Scotto to Siegel that say, Alan, Whitey, they know what they have.
But you know what? I don't know if that applies to what I'm talking about directly, but when you have an older player, there's a question of can he still do it? So when you have an older guy like DeMar and he's like, wow, I mean, it's not just, the scouts know who he's been, but look, he's still that guy. So I do think there's potentially some upside there.
I think, you know what I would say?
To showcasing him, that is.
Yeah. If he were doing other things, and I know he can distribute the basketball, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But I think everybody knows, Whitey, from doing it today, if he drops 40 today versus dropping 40 in November,
it doesn't make sense.
You know what I mean?
Right.
In November, if he was running, if he was defending and running point and shooting 3 balls from Steph Curry range, I'd be with you. But he's doing what he's always done that people have said, we don't want that.
Well, that was the frustrating thing to me about the report from Michael Scotto. And if that's what he's being told, he reports that he's doing his job. But it's like, they're right where they were with these guys.
Yeah.
We knew Zach was going to, as you pointed out, we knew he was going to pick up his option. We knew they were going to shop these guys. So that's not really telling me anything new other than, I guess, maybe it's a suggestion that they're not going to look to remodel rather than rebuild. They're not engaging the whole hybrid rebuild thing.
Well, you know, Whitey.
It's not going to happen, Alan. Face it.
Well. So I told you about this show, Paradise. It's one of the hottest shows out right now, Sterling K. Brown. So I'm not going to ruin the end because not everybody's got to watch it yet. But let's just say
that the guy from This Is Us?
That's right.
That's
right.
He's
just yoked for no reason.
Yeah.
No, Last of Us, that's HBO.
No,
another
this
great
is
show.
The Last of Us. It's all their siblings and they turn into mushrooms.
You're close. You're close. So let's just say the Denver airport gets involved in the series. And if you're like me, conspiracy theorists, people love kind of Denver airport, all the different random paintings and things like that.
I've heard about some
Yes.
of that.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
You get bored? Hop on YouTube and look up Denver airport. You'll fry hours. And the reason I bring it up is because there might be a conspiracy theory with the Kings right now. Now, they can say to Michael Scotto, to my guy, Brett Siegel, they can say, we're shopping these guys. We are. But if we don't get good value, Whitey, what are we supposed to do other than just play the guys that we have and try to make the playoffs or the play-in? So I have a feeling, not that birdies are chirping, because I'll tell you, if a birdie's chirping, but there is a
You've
world.
never been shy about letting us know.
Well, I got 2 phones. I'm going to the distributor. I need a new phone like Jay, because that's where it's at right now. This is drive time. This is drive guys. We do it big. I'm thinking that they can say whatever they want, knowing that the price tags are not going to be great. And if we were really to boil down, and that's why I've said Malik Monk, if you really boil down who they truly want to move, I don't think it's as big of a list as what we're hearing. And they can use the excuse, we didn't get good value. We got to run it. Got to run it back.
Are you saying Domas is the one they most want to move?
No, I'm actually not.
Okay.
No. I've already said, I think Malik is the one that we've actually heard. This other stuff, now, I'll say this. I'm not getting in trouble on a Friday. That's not to say some in the building might not want to. The amount of players that could be moved, that might vary based on who in that building you talk to. But the overarching theory is, I don't believe, this is just my opinion, I don't believe they want to move as many guys as we're hearing.
Alan's sources, after Matt George is done with his show, Alan goes through the garbage can looking for his notes.
Don't do that.
That's his source.
I built this. Don't get me started, Whitey. I finally cooled off. I got my guy on the text line, 916. I used to really like Alan until this delusional take about the Giants. Then they said JK, so shout out to 916. We had some fun in the beginning. I was fired up. Don't fire me up, Whitey. I told you I didn't have my coffee today.
This may fire you up. Baseball is shrinking real quick here. Major League Baseball players, they all had to be measured this year before the season started because of the ABS. So it doesn't matter how tall somebody says they are. It's like, how tall are you? Because we got to make sure the strike zone is accurate. In total, baseball players lost nearly 20 feet worth of height. That equates to 3 full Aaron Judge-sized human beings. An issue once reserved for the NFL Combine or dating app disasters has now reached the shores of MLB. Players who lost 3 inches, there were 6 of them. Players who lost 2 inches, there were 48 of them. Players who lost 1 inch, 171 of them. Gained an inch, 45, and 2 guys actually gained 2 inches over what they said they were and what it turns out they actually are.
I love this job, and I love being with you and Jay, but I'm so mad at myself. Because clearly I could have been lying this whole time. I could have been just lying this, because, look, there's an MLB Combine. We know. I saw, CeCe Sabathia's son, I believe, was there. But clearly, they are not measuring people in baseball.
Gavin Sheets of the Padres went from 6'5" to 6'3".
Wasn't there one that went
Lux of the Rays from 6'2" to 5'11".
That's insane. I could have been lying this whole time to the scouts.
Torres dropped from 6'1" to 5'10", as did Connor Wong of the Red Sox.
From 6'1" to 5'10"?
From 6'1" to 5'10".
Brother!
Yeah.
Whoa!
That's a big, just that 6 mark is a big
6.
difference. Yeah.
I could have been lying this whole time, Whitey. But you know what? Did you hear this, Whitey? Back in the day,
Bo Naylor, he was 6 feet tall. Now he's 5'9".
Yeah, I'll tell you, there was when it comes to baseball, there's something specific why this actually helps. I'll tell you, though.
All right, we've got that coming up. Also, are Memphis's days as an NBA franchise numbered? LeBron seems to hope they are, and we're back with that on this wonderful Friday Sactown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans.
Tip off at 7. Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Is Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at TurboTax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Sacramento. Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Maida Subaru says yes to big savings on the new Subaru you want. Yes to outstanding lease offers and financing as low as 0% on select models. Visit MaidaSubaru.com. Click the Maida Says Yes button to unlock your savings today.
You gotta bring in ready credit.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
The Pirates youngster, what's his name? Connor. No, the youngster with the Pirates making his
right.
debut.
Is it Connor Griffin?
Connor Griffin. Yeah. So Jay, Connor Griffin's and the game's on MLB Network, and so he's got his whole family there. And so he just challenged the pit, and he got a hit one of his first times up. His whole family's there, and they're showing them all, and they got babies and families and wives, and they're all going crazy. Are they taking over baseball, Alan? This is on national TV today.
No, they're trying to copy.
It's
iconic moment.
No,
yeah.
They're trying to copy.
The Pirates, now all of a sudden, are a top 3 brand.
They are.
Now they're trying
Berto Clemente.
Willie
Pops.
Stargell.
Now they're trying
The
to
hat.
copy.
We are family.
You can't.
What's the name of the hat? The stove top.
That's right.
You can't. What? Andrew McCutcheon?
Sid Bream.
You can't reenact what we saw yesterday.
Jeff King.
Sid Bream is rounding third. Here's a throw from Bonds.
It's not the
Sid
same.
Bream was actually on the Braves.
He was on the Braves.
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
It's not.
But you're right. It was a throw from Bond.
Yeah.
It's not the
Anyway, so I was just wondering because you said the Giants took over baseball last night. Looks like the Pirates have taken over baseball
We'll
today
see.
then, right?
No, I'll check social media.
Okay.
See if it's with the outlets.
Yeah.
It won't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be the same.
A lot of young guys making their mark on baseball so far this year.
Yeah, and you know, Whitey, I love it. I never understood the let's draft. A lot of people think differently because obviously if you didn't get the call, you would say, oh, I wish there were 50 rounds. But Whitey, don't waste my time. I have so many buddies that just, wasted away in the minors, and all you're doing is, You're just practice vehicles for the big boys. You know, that's what you are. So I'm excited. What are they at? 20 rounds now, I believe, or they might even be less than that. But bring them up at 19 years old. This is not football. You know, you can draft them out of high school. I get all that, but there's no reason for these guys to be in. People don't realize there's not just single A, double A, triple A. There's rookie ball, there's high A, there's low A. I mean, there's no need for all these levels. And I'm not trying to take anybody's job away, don't get me wrong, but there's no need for all those levels. There's not.
Yeah, we'll get back to the NBA in just a moment here. Just a moment. LeBron with some things to say about Memphis that Memphis fans are not excited about. Of course, the Kings playing tonight. But one more note on the Lincoln Potters, because Daniel Susak had 3 hits last night for the Giants in his debut. He used to play for the Lincoln Potters. Phantom was nice enough to come on with us at 2:30. And Andrew, you know Andrew, who helps us out with a lot of things here.
Yes.
Does video, runs shows. Andrew sent me a picture, and it's a picture of him as the it's Anthony. Huh?
I was going to let you go.
Yeah.
I was going to let
Anthony.
you go.
Anthony sent me a picture of him as Polly the Peacock. He used to be the mascot up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said on his first day, he was racing kids around home plate, and he said he was supposed to lose to them, and he beat them.
Anthony did?
Yeah, Anthony.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a life lesson.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick,
That's a
Whitey.
good lesson for the kids?
Yeah,
to
it
lose?
is. Yes. You got to learn. Nobody's
Thank
going
you,
to give you
Anthony.
anything.
Yeah.
Shout out, Anthony. What I was going to say, Whitey, before we get to LeBron, and I'm really excited for that conversation, did you ever hear that the perfect height for baseball as far as hitting is concerned? And Jay, I don't know if you heard this either. I always heard it was 5'10", which was, I believe, the height, if I'm not mistaken, of Manny Ramirez. So I always heard growing up that the and I think Crick and Kite might have even said it.
Is that
before.
the ratio, like, of where the strike
I guess,
zone is? And
yeah. Like
your
you
leverage. And...
like Aaron Judge, it's actually more impressive what he does at that size. But yeah, I've always heard, when I was coming up, it was always, the kind of prototypical size to hit is about 5'10", which is interesting. So a lot of these guys are, clearly, I always thought it was not, malarkey, but scouts always are looking for the bigger guys anyway, so I didn't really understand it, but I did used to hear that.
Yeah, Herman Munster was a big son of a gun. I think he hit one so high that when a fielder caught it, it drove him underground, if I remember from that episode of the Munsters when he tried out for the Cubs or whatever it was.
Should have.
LeBron James is not happy that the NBA still has a team in Memphis. He was on a podcast here, Bob Does Sports, a YouTube show.
Yeah, I found out the lore on Bob Does Sports yesterday from a buddy of mine. It's huge, Whitey. It's a huge golf YouTube channel, and they just started out by just, messing around golfing, and it took off. I don't know when it started, but, years ago, whenever it is. And clearly they're getting some big names.
Yeah.
They do big numbers.
LeBron James on playing the Grizzlies. I'm bleeping 41 years of age. You think I want to do bleep in Memphis on a random Thursday? I'm not the first guy in the NBA to talk about this. You guys got to move the team. Go over to Nashville already. End quote. Grizzly fans are not happy.
No. And I don't know if you've seen all of the compilations of other NBA players saying the same thing. Draymond talked about moving them to Nashville. A lot of players have said that. Specifically, I guess there's one hotel, right? And players out here, and when teams out here, they stay at the Kimpton Sawyer. But apparently, Memphis does not have something as lovely as the Kimpton Sawyer.
Staying at the bleeping Hyatt.
Yeah.
You think I want to do that?
I mean, now that's going to make you sound like a silver spoon a little bit, but. These guys are living in a different reality, and he's not the only one to say it, Whitey. So LeBron, this is turning into a social conversation. This is giving me flashbacks, honestly, to Oakland type of conversations with the A's now in Sacramento and Oakland losing those teams. So there's a lot to unpack here with these statements. And, some people might feel like LeBron has a responsibility to maybe not bag on a city that has a lot of people in the city that look like him. So this whole thing, Whitey, it really took flight quickly. And I don't think LeBron, he clearly didn't think this was going to be the case when he was with Bob Does Sports, golfing, just kind of, shooting the breeze. And now he's got a PR situation on his hands.
LeBron suggesting that the Grizzlies should move to Nashville. And he says a lot of people have been saying that. He's implying that, oh, yeah, that's what everyone wants them to do. At the very least, he could be, in my opinion, more respectful to the people that do support the team in Memphis.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements to it, as you said, but that's a basic one. It's like you play in the NBA and these are your customers. Why do you want to insult, just so you can have a little fun on somebody's YouTube show? Why do you want to insult those fans that are trying to support their team?
Well, it kind of connects back to the conversation we're going to have about Seattle getting a team back, the NBA, and they're less than 3 hours away from Portland. Now, I get it, 2 different states, so that makes things a little bit different. But I think maybe part of it is that it's all the same state, so it doesn't feel like you're losing a team. Like Oakland I know the Warriors play across the street now, or across the bridge, but Oakland lost the Raiders. Oakland is about to lose the A's. So you look at that. I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying you do, but collectively, LeBron probably doesn't feel like Memphis is losing a team because they'd still be in the state, even though Memphis would technically be losing a team. It ain't Memphis anymore.
Yeah. He was asked about ever playing for the Grizzlies. And he says maybe if they drafted him, but he says, yeah, he might have pulled an Eli Manning and refused to play for Memphis.
Yeah, so, he's doing a lot. That's a lot.
If he feels that strongly and if there's a lot of people that feel that way, maybe do something about it rather than just go off on. Again, I'm just thinking of the fans. The fans are always the one that get the brunt of it, right? Fans who actually support that team's like, man, LeBron is just. It's LeBron. Why is he coming after us? What do we do to him?
Well, what's interesting is somebody went, I think Kayla might have quote tweeted this, but somebody went semi-viral saying, why is LeBron bagging on Memphis and nobody's talking about Sacramento? And
yeah, I did see
you
some
saw
of that.
And then everyone said Sacramento's the capital, all this stuff. It's not about Memphis versus Sacramento, but therein lies the problem. Again, flashbacks of the Oakland versus Sacramento thing. It's when we were talking about the different heights, Whitey, when the little guy is trying to bag on other little guys and now you have a little guy battle, that's not where this thing needs to live. It needs to live in the conversation of, hey, LeBron, like if you feel some type of way about Memphis and everyone's saying, well, it's an issue now. People have been saying it this whole time, but now everybody wants to be social justice heroes because LeBron says something. He's LeBron James. I'm sorry. Jay and I were just talking about these player podcasts. Nobody gives a you-know-what about what Derek White has to say because he was on the compilation. Nobody cares. When LeBron says something, it's going to come off differently. He has a responsibility.
As far as whatever was said about Sacramento, and I saw that too. I don't know who it was, but I think it was just a fan, right? Saying, well, why don't they talk about Sacramento?
I think so.
Yeah. And it does, to me, speak to how far Sacramento has come because there were times not that long ago where we thought the Kings could be leaving. And it wasn't just at the end of the Maloof's run. There were a couple other periods where it was kind of uncertain what kind of future the Kings had in Sacramento. And now it's more likely, it's not very likely, but it's more likely Sacramento gets a baseball team than it is that the Kings are going anywhere.
Yeah. Right.
And that's progress.
And again, if we, I don't want to get into the, is Memphis going to the arena enough and all these things. It just is, honestly, it's above my pay grade and I don't have enough research done to talk about it. But all I do know is that it took the Kings years and years and years, and they're in a really tough spot right now to the point where, sometimes things do look a little bit sparse, okay, or scarce in talking about the attendance this season. But even still, throughout this season, we've heard the crowd pops early on when they still stunk, but when they were battling against, who was it? When they went to overtime against the Clippers or whoever it was, the Kings fans, they were in there. And that's the one thing that the basketball world has always agreed on. So again, it's not Sacramento versus Memphis.
No.
But I'm getting, when people bring up stuff like this, and it got 1.2 million views. It did. So, people are always there. There's always going to be that idea. I'd be lying to you if, there are people in the Bay Area, buddies of mine, whoever it is, not the Guerneville crew, but they say, not them. But what's there to do in Sacramento? So I'm trying to put them on game. But you're right, Whitey. It's still in a completely different conversation now.
The people that go to Guerneville are wondering what there is to do in Sacramento.
No, I'm saying it's not the Guerneville crew.
Yeah, right.
It's not the and we're headed to Mexico next. So we're doing. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
I'm telling you, Guadalajara. It's we moving and shaking. So. Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing kind of makes me uncomfortable because I don't know. And somebody is saying Memphis is dead last in attendance. That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. And then you get
But that's not what LeBron's talking about.
He's
not just saying, wow, people don't go to the game.
No, he's saying he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know what stories are what, but apparently NBA players have been robbed out there. These are NBA players saying these stories, right? Then you get into the conversation again to bring up Oakland and Sacramento. Then it gets into a gentrification conversation because I'm assuming Nashville doesn't maybe look the same way as Memphis. So LeBron just opened a can of worms on the golf course. He probably, after he said that, finished the round. I don't know what hole it was on. And he probably got a call, Whitey, whenever they posted it, 5 minutes later, brother, we're going to have to run you back out there. Because I know they had a game last night, but he's going to have to say something.
Yeah. And I shouldn't say this because I don't know, but I could see him going, oh my goodness. I can't say anything, which is just oblivious. If that's his approach, he's just oblivious to what he's actually saying and how much it affects people.
Yeah.
The question I've always had is, well, why did the Grizzlies move from Vancouver to Memphis in the first place? Why didn't they go to Nashville at that time? And people have told me Memphis has a greater basketball history, which I know that. I've never been there.
Double checking.
Yeah, I've never been to Memphis, but I know about their basketball history. Also, when the Grizzlies were sold, Michael Heisley moved to Memphis in 2001 because the city offered, hey, new arena, we got a plan for a new arena. So it's like, okay, new arena. But then he sold the team, and now the arena, my understanding is, I remember when the Kings were going to build a new arena, people looked at the Memphis arena and said, yeah, we want to do one better than that. It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of built-in issues there.
It definitely seems to be, and that's the other thing too. Yeah, when somebody's bringing up Sacramento, it's, hey, well, they have a state-of-the-art arena, which when the Kings are halfway decent, is packed every single night.
Oh, yeah. It's not even someone says, well, why not Sacramento? Why do they still have a team? It's like, you just don't know.
I think that's...
You just don't understand.
Well, I think that's the conversation. Right. Go have Carmichael Dave, fire up some video for you.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I just want to know the difference between, because I don't believe I've been to Memphis either, Whitey. But I just want to understand the difference between Memphis and some of these, and I'm not going to say any names to get in trouble, but some of these other smaller markets. I just want to know what the difference is, because every area has their tough parts, right? Every area, deals with certain things. So I just can't imagine, in my mind, I put certain cities in the same category, and I think that's maybe what a lot of Californians do, the same way non-Californians thinks that San Diego is right next to Sacramento.
Yeah.
But clearly, these NBA players are saying, no, Memphis is on another level.
11th North here in the chat says, are you sure Braun wasn't aware of what he was saying? That channel and commentary might speak exactly to its base. No, I think LeBron knew exactly what he was saying. Yeah, if he claims, and he hasn't, to his credit, but if he claims, I didn't mean anything, I don't buy that. He knows exactly what he was saying.
Well, now we're headed back to the Denver airport where people are, having conversations saying, hey, he's your most powerful. This is a huge YouTube channel, by the way, because I didn't even really know about it. But you send out your strongest, your strongest brand. He puts out,
But why would he even care? He's almost done.
He wants to own soon. This whole thing, I mean, it's all connected, Whitey.
But his Vegas group is not they're not pursuing the franchise.
Maybe
is he going to try to get this franchise?
I'm just
saying.
Does
he want the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah, I'm just saying he could.
He wants to move him to Nashville.
He could pop back in. I don't know. Nothing is ever said and done until it's said and done. So I don't know that. Whitey, we have, I don't know if you saw, his name is Doc Holliday, does TV, sports in Memphis, former NFL player, and he's in Memphis. So he had a lot to say about LeBron, and his take was they want to basically move the arena out of Memphis to Nashville, let it rock in Nashville. Memphis loses less value than it has right now, and then corporations can come in, basically gentrify Memphis on the cheap. So that's what he was saying. So like I said, LeBron, it's interesting what path you take in this, because if you do think LeBron knows what he was saying, then you're basically saying that he's privy. I'm not saying that Doc Holliday is correct, but he's in Memphis, literally. You're saying that LeBron is privy to all of this information.
I'm buying all that. If that's a conspiracy theory, give me my foil hat.
Wow.
LeBron just doesn't throw out something like that, like, oh, this place, the Hyatt's terrible. He knows what he's doing.
And that's so crazy.
He knows what he's doing.
The Hyatt, fellas, if I take Miss Styles to the Hyatt, hey, we had a good month, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a good month.
Yeah. If you don't want to stay at the Hyatt, I'll stay.
Last thing I want to say, not that.
Don't they have the complimentary breakfast?
They do.
Yeah, come on,
you
LeBron.
got a buffet, you got eggs.
Yes.
They make the pancake for you right there.
Uh-huh.
But this is the type of stuff, Whitey. Now, everybody is looking to bag on the NBA for a multitude of reasons. We know that. But this is the type of stuff when I joked about Shea and how, hey, Shea to me, it just, he's just not relatable to me. There is a level of relatability that NBA players don't have, and stuff like that doesn't help them, because I know a lot of people, as we're joking here, they can't afford the Hyatt.
I know.
You know what I mean?
A lot of that relatability is gone, long gone. There was a time when there was more of that. Now it's, people know. It's like, they're nothing like us.
I know. Okay, well. Okay, Vivek. I could not say anything. But I don't know. I still think that, you see a Daniel Susak and you see his nephew, and that felt relatable last night.
I know. Baseball maybe in some ways still does a little bit, but like a guy like LeBron and the NBA superstars, not so much.
What about
not so much?
Is football still relatable because you're always going to have that random lineman that nobody cares about?
Yeah.
And, that's cool. He's not the star.
Because they get their brains beaten in.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Ken Dog Funky says, getting back to the Kings here, I know you love this conversation, Alan. I don't blame Doug Christie for trying to win games. Sports talk is killing the Kings because of how they're losing. Wow. I've been saying, who cares? Just lose. You think we're going to care next year? Come on, Alan.
I don't even know what
Sports talk is killing the Kings because of how they're losing.
I've been saying, who cares? Just lose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. I'm going to be honest with you.
He doesn't blame Doug Christie for trying to win games.
But then he says, just lose?
I think he's saying, yeah.
Come on. Now I need the coffee.
It's the same conversation. Doug Christie. What are the Kings doing? Why shouldn't they lose games? At this point, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The one thing that matters still is, can you hold off Utah to avoid the 5th spot?
They don't care.
It seems like they don't. So
they do not care.
5 games left. They're 1 game ahead of Utah, or behind, depending on how you want to look at it. And if you end up tied, bloop, you get a coin flip.
Yeah. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
Somebody doesn't care. I have to assume, as you said yesterday, I'm with you, it's organizational. I can't imagine the organization wants one thing and the coach wants something else.
No.
I know people like to say, I can't believe what Doug Christie's doing. I'm not buying that at all.
No, and I don't think, look, I'd be very surprised if that were the case. I would be very surprised if Doug is going rogue and winning games he's not supposed to be winning.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Whitey, I do have
Peg junk, stretchy B with a tinfoil fitted. Yeah.
That's right.
No snapback.
No snapback.
I want the fitted.
Snapbacks are back, though. Whitey, this is the injury report as of, and we'll go through it again, but real quick, DeJounte, still not going to get to watch DeJounte Murray, but it is injury management, okay, with that Achilles. So injury management. Matt Kovich, questionable. Bryce McGowan's out. Trey Murphy III is probable. What are we doing with Trey Murphy III? We got to talk. I don't know what to do with Trey Murphy III. Baldwin Jr.
I think I like him more than you do.
No. I like him. Okay. I don't know what to do when the Pelicans say, well, give us 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Or else we'll stink again.
They still think they're going to be good next year.
Yeah, they can keep thinking it. Eubanks, Hunter, Levine, Malik Monk, personal reasons, out. Keegan Murray, out. DeMontis Sabonis, out. Isaiah Stevens, Russell Westbrook, out. So no Malik. 39% from 3 he's shooting, Whitey, on over 5 threes a game. If you can't move him this summer.
He looked like he had a point to prove in the last game. You know, we know about it being a revenge game for DeMar and for Precious, but Malik looked like he had something to prove.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's just the way he plays. When
He's always, when he's feeling it. Come on. What does Malik mean in Arabic?
Brick Ripsaw. Nashville's the 21st market in the U.S. Memphis is 29th, bigger market. I think Nashville is growing more too, right? I think the demographics are more favorable for Nashville to continue.
Oh, than Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the running to get a baseball team.
That's right.
And maybe that's all part of it.
Yep. Yep. And LeBron wants to be part of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Mike Tannenbaum's going to join us, former GM, ESPN NFL Insider. Look at the Raiders, the 49ers, and the upcoming draft next on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded one new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
To infinity and the ballpark. Join the Sacramento Rivercats for Toy Story Night on Saturday, April 11th, and then bring your best furry friend to bark in the park on Sunday, April 12th at Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Apologies, Mike Tannenbaum is still flying. He's in the air. He's not going to be able to join us, although I would think the technology exists, and if he really wanted to, Alan, he could find a way. But
That's
okay,
right.
Whatever.
Hop on Skype.
Yeah. It's not 1978 anymore. I'm flying. I can't talk to you. But whatever.
Well, it depends. That's kind of the beauty of flying, though. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, you can get into a plane in 2026. It could have Wi-Fi, screens in the back, even though I think planes are moving away from the screens in the back because they just give you the, hey, just hop on our system, whatever, and watch whatever. But you could go on and be able to text, or you could get on and have nothing. And all you hope is that, if you're doing a connecting flight, that 5-hour flight is the one with all the bells and whistles. I don't need the bells. When I'm going to Vegas, especially when I'm going to Vegas.
You're going to Mexico.
Oh, yeah. I don't need anything. It's about it's a little over 3 hours.
What's the longest flight you've ever been on?
I went to Holland for baseball, and when I was a sophomore.
You had to wear wooden cleats?
No.
Okay.
No, but they made a lot of cheese, though.
Oh, okay.
They made a lot of cheese. I actually, that's a good never have I ever. Yeah, hit a home run, in Europe? Now, two truths and a lie. That would be a good one.
Wait, so did you hit a home run in Europe or
no,
you did
that's
not?
why I said not too. No, I did.
Okay, I did.
No, I'm telling you.
All right, inside the Parker?
No, this one, I don't know what was in the Holland Air. But, I got it in the Holland Jetstream.
Did they douse you with hollandaise sauce?
They should have.
Yeah.
But I did have the McDonald's out in Holland. Not it, man. Not it. I don't know what was it. I looked at that, looked at the patty. The Netherlands, I just, something, that patty is not a patty that I'm typically in. And, Whitey, this was back in the day. I was a sophomore. So this was like 06. So, some of the, how should I say, the rules were different back then. So we went to Amsterdam, but, I was a square. So you're not going to worry about it. I was a square, but that was back in the day where they had the specific coffee shops to partake in. Now, I would imagine, I don't know what the rules are out there now, but I imagine it's completely different. But in 06, hey, let's go walk down and see the coffee shops. I'm a square, man. I was.
Yeah. Can you tell us why NBA expansion makes you more optimistic about Sacramento getting a baseball team?
I'll tell you this much.
Were you taking us down the rabbit hole again here?
Yeah, so I was listening to a little clip from Bill Simmons, and he was giving his tinfoil hat on why he thinks certain teams are going to get good picks. He's just
the Warriors.
Basically, yeah. You saw that. He was joking about how Adam Silver is going to rig it and why they would rig it. Then when he came to Portland, he said Portland might get a top pick because Portland agreed to, which is another interesting way that he said it, Portland agreed to allowing Seattle to come back when they're less than 3 hours away from each other. So I Googled it back, when I, got home, and I saw that at the time at about 9:30 a.m. today, it was 2 hours and 47 minutes to get from Portland to Seattle. So that made me think, okay, well, obviously Sacramento and San Francisco are a little closer than that, but it's about 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with bad traffic, it could hit you more than 2 hours.
Tell me about it.
To get from San Francisco to Sacramento and vice versa.
What's the quickest? Maybe if everything is going your way, maybe like an hour 40?
Maybe. Hour 40 to get to the FIDI. Hour 40 to get to the financial district. My buddies, in the Mission. Nah, man. That's a mob. You want to go to, hey, Alan, we're going to Golden Gate Park. I'm not, because, I got stuff to do. But I know the differences here. The main difference here, Whitey, is that there are two different states. And
Alan checked out the red light district. He says he did not.
I was there, but I'm 16 and I'm a square bear. I'm just there. They were telling me, no, Alan, this is what goes down. I'm like, oh, okay, like on Friday. You know what I mean? The movie. Cool. When's practice? So, but to me, Whitey, when I realized, I guess in my mind, I didn't realize how close Seattle and Portland are to each other. So then when I thought about it like that, I know they're two different states, but I thought, well, if they can coexist And we should, you can look up all the different teams and how far they are from each other. But I thought if they could coexist, I know we've gone back and forth with Jay as far as how big of a market Seattle is specifically. But if they could coexist, why can't the Giants and a Sacramento team coexist outside of the fact that they're both in the same state? But they could have two completely different demographics. I know there are a lot of Giants fans out here, so it's a little bit different, but you got to assume that there are a lot of Blazers fans in Seattle now.
Sure. I just don't know how the Giants view this market. If they view it as, that's our territory. I have no idea. I mean, technically, no, I don't. Well, it's a good question. I'm not sure whose territory it is, but I don't know how aggressively the Giants feel like they would need to protect this territory. They might be, it's fine. Whereas Oakland, obviously, we played or talked about the comments from their chairman yesterday. It's like, we don't want to do that. Yeah. I don't want to say it, but we don't want to do that. It is interesting that the commissioner of baseball, a year and a half ago or so, when he was talking about expansion, he did kind of suggest that, you like having teams kind of close together because you save money that way travel-wise.
Right.
And it's easy to look at that and go, that would work in Sacramento's favor. But obviously there are so many other factors that, it might be some kind of tiebreaker, but is Sacramento even in position for them to start looking at tiebreakers?
I think the easy answer here, Whitey, is that Greg Johnson and the powers that be with the Giants are praying that they don't have to answer those questions. Please just go to Salt Lake because they're hiding behind, I don't think they're fooling anybody, but they're trying to hide behind, the 510 days. Hey, we still got love for Oakland. And there was another question in there, Whitey, from Baggerly where he brought up, hey, are you trying to convert A's fans into Giants fans? And he basically said, not aggressively. And then in parentheses, it said, yet. So I don't know if he said that or if Baggerly kind of added that in. So we know what it is, right? This is a business. This is monopoly. You're trying to monopolize the situation. And I definitely think if it got closer to getting off the ground in Sacramento, I don't know. Either the Giants would have to just wear it so they don't look like bleep holes, or they would just say, we don't care, we're going to look like bleep holes and block it.
I know that we didn't hear anything suggesting that the Giants were against the A's relocating here on a temporary basis.
That's temporary.
I know, but I mean, I didn't hear any of it. That doesn't prove anything, but it is interesting that no objections were raised that I'm aware of.
Whitey,
none.
Real quick, this is breaking news, not for us, but for just the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Because we need the sounder?
No, I don't think we need the sounder.
Okay.
But just because we were talking about, is it just because the Lakers were down big? The most confusing word that gets used in sports is indefinitely. The Los Angeles Lakers star Luka Doncic is out indefinitely due to a left hamstring injury from Shams. He will miss the remainder of the regular season, and his status is uncertain beyond that. And we got to check, Whitey. He might be in that 64, 65 game area as well.
I think Ant is now out of the round.
Yeah, because he got sick or something like that. So that's big.
Well, who would they play in the first round? You know that they would try to nurse him along if they had to through first round, but then they need him to be ready in, a couple weeks?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on where they end, right? They're only a game up on the Nuggets. Right now, Whitey, if it ended.
64 games.
Yep. Another one. Adam Silver cannot avoid disasters.
No, this rule, the 65-game rule, is not working.
If they played tomorrow, the Lakers would have the Timberwolves. So 2 injured stars. It's one of 3 and the 6.
And that's not a matchup where you're like, we'll coast. We'll coast through
I
that.
don't think so.
No. Woo.
Yeah. So that's big news, man. Feel bad for, Luka. I know he's a Laker, but.
Can I take back what I said yesterday about the Lakers? They're contenders. They're legit contenders.
Well, they were.
Can I walk that back, Jay? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
Rewind that. I never said that.
They were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the time. Not anymore, though.
Mm-hmm. As of yesterday, this time they were?
They were.
Oh, yeah.
Before Luka.
Big time. Then I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
They got hamstring.
They got molly-whopped, and Luka went down with a hammy.
Yeah.
And then LeBron started running his mouth about
What a
Memphis.
terrible week. Wait, maybe we're not joking about injury, but I think you put the hex on the Lakers. You said they look, they're contenders, and they're having the
Maybe
worst
so.
week of the season.
Mm-hmm. What does opening day in Sacramento mean to baseball fans around here, you think?
I saw
opening day, the second one ever.
Yeah, I saw Dave. They had someone on, and they were talking about why it feels different this season. They had Johnny Doskow on, and they were talking about
Johnny.
That's right, and they were talking about Sacramento and things like that. I don't know if and I'm right there because a lot of the people that work for the River Cats, they now double and work for the A's, right? All the Sutter Health type of employees.
And the Kings.
Mm-hmm. I don't see the different energy, but maybe I'm missing it. It feels very similar to me, but maybe I'm missing it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Sacramento clothing? I saw the A's posted it today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be very popular.
I was surprised the A's didn't go with any crazy food. They should have. They should have done something.
That stuff costs money, Alan.
They got it. They're not paying rent.
Mm-hmm.
They got all their guys on bargain deals. You could throw a little 10-foot glizzy, Jay. No.
No. Glizzarilla or something?
The Glizzarilla.
I honestly think that speaks to the fact that this isn't their home. You notice when teams come up with the crazy foods, it reflects something about the city,
that's true,
or the team, or whether you're like a top 5 brand or not. That's so for the A's to do something like that, it'd be kind of like, what is this now? What?
Well, I
it's
think
also possible that the club is like, we don't want to do any Sacramento themed stuff.
No, I think you're onto something because think about it. They would have to do? Y'all help me. What would they do if they were What's a food?
The farm to fork corn on the cob. I don't know.
Right. But then them because they got 14 Vegas signs in the outfield. They do something, the high roller burger or something like that, and then Sacramentans would say, "Come on, man, can we just have something?" Yeah. So you're right. They're just avoiding all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that similar to what they did when wasn't they still in Oakland with the City Connect, and then they just didn't do a City Connect?
Right. The City Connect was going to be like the Vegas Strip. And
no,
Oakland,
it wasn't.
Oakland fans didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah.
They just avoided it completely.
Yeah. But it's going to be, I was talking to some coworkers just throughout the building, and a lot of people are excited to go. Matt George, oh my goodness, he looked like there's a new Lord of the Rings prequel out. I mean, that's how excited he looks. No, he looks excited.
He looked like they're having the screening.
Oh
at the
my,
ballpark.
yeah, no, it's a movie under the lights, ballpark and a theme.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like it was Lord of the Rings night at the game. He looked so excited. People are excited, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because of the River Cats thing. I'm connected to it differently, but I'm not. I know a lot of the employees are excited because, tips and things like that.
Have you noticed that we keep hearing these suggestions from Buster Olney on his podcast, from Bags talking to the chairman? We see it here, we see it there. These suggestions that Oakland could be in the mix for an expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that? I don't know if it's just people going, hey, maybe that makes sense. I know that Scott Osler, a year and a half ago, whatever it was, he said that there were people in Oakland that wanted to pony up some dough to bring a team there. They were told by baseball, do not go public with what you're doing or you will be removed from consideration for an expansion team.
Which means that they are in consideration?
It means there are people there who are interested, but yeah, the implication there is we might be looking at you, but we don't want to go there right now.
I think they're just being nice, honestly. If you were to ask, and this is turning into, I love this, Jay. This is a tinfoil Friday. This is what it is right now. If you were to say or ask the question, who has a better chance of getting an expansion team, Sacramento or Oakland, what would you say? Yeah.
Baseball? Sacramento.
I think it's Sacramento. I think the scar is...
Because of the whole Giants thing primarily.
Because
baseball, to go back there, it's like baseball would have to swallow its pride. Baseball doesn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, the scar hasn't even scabbed up yet from Oakland. It's one thing if, Seattle, right? Years have gone by, different setting. The scar is I just don't think they can do it.
Well, to that point, baseball went back to Seattle They left Seattle, went back. Why? Because they got sued. Baseball went to Tampa Bay. The Giants were going to go to Tampa Bay. They didn't. They got sued. So what they do? All right, we'll put a team there.
Yeah.
That's how you get baseball to respond.
Yeah, I don't
know if there's any grounds for that in Oakland.
Doesn't seem like it. I just think that, I'm not saying Buster Olney's being nice, but it feels like they're just being nice.
Yeah, and he just said, someone told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that brilliant? Don't say anything or you won't get an expansion team. They're not getting an expansion team.
Right.
Anyway,
But now we
don't have to deal with the
right,
fallout.
Right. Now we can keep them. We can shut them up.
When we come back, the greatest baseball story ever told. You be the judge next on Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockle with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. As we move through the spring season, a time often associated with renewal and fresh beginnings, investors are seeing a similar theme play out in today's markets. It hasn't been a smooth ride. March brought volatility with global stocks pressured by rising energy prices and geopolitical tensions, and major indexes posting their steepest monthly declines in years. At the same time, inflation remains elevated and the Federal Reserve has held interest rates steady while monitoring the impact of higher energy costs. But here's where the story turns, just like the season we're in. Markets have recently shown signs of resilience, with rebounds driven by optimism around easing global tensions and continued economic growth. History reminds us that periods of uncertainty often plant the seeds for future opportunity. Volatility can reset valuations, create entry points, and ultimately lay the groundwork for long-term growth. So this season, while headlines may focus on challenges, investors might consider the bigger picture. Markets, much like the season itself, have a way of renewing and moving forward. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Jim Knight says neither city's getting an expansion team. Oakland's not getting a baseball team. Sacramento's not getting a baseball team. Let's just wait, Jim. Maybe you're right. Let's just wait till we find out next month what Sacramento's plans entail.
So, why do you keep bringing that up? Do you think there's a world where these plans, because I feel like it's pretty obvious what the typical plans would be. Do you think there's a world where these plans just blow everybody out of the water?
I'd like to think so.
Okay.
It's tough. The only way that would happen is if you had all the finances, as you'd like to say, locked down.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. That's awfully hard to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more a matter of we have some interested people and we can move forward. But my understanding is that's one of the big advantages Salt Lake City has. It's like they're ready. Like, we have everything. We're ready. Just you give us the go-ahead. Everything is financed already. Mm-hmm. We're good. We got stadium. We got people that want to pay for it. We got legislature on board. You just give us a word, and we're going to go. So that's tough to top.
How much of this, when it turns into, oh, we're ready to go, is this how it typically works, right? Like, historically, is there any world where and I know Rob Manfred said, hey, I want to add these teams before I retire, but the fact that it's not a done deal yet. Isn't that kind of funny, right? Sacramento's going to come out with these plans, and Major League Baseball hasn't officially said we're adding 2 teams. I'm just trying to figure out how the order of operations typically works. So do they typically make their decision and then they say, hey, we are officially adding? Or do they say, hey, we are officially adding and now we are looking at the bids?
Well, it's kind of, if you compare it to the NBA, I think the answer is, it's understood that baseball's planning to do this, but we don't know when. But it is a matter of, if you want to get on board, you got to jump on now. And then I think baseball, we talked about this yesterday, the fact that you have this potential work stoppage is kind of a big roadblock. Mm-hmm. But if you say, well, we're going to wait till that's resolved, it might be too late. So you have to go into it now with these plans, even though you're not sure when it's coming together. But you compare it to the NBA where, they, for a long time, we knew what the 2 cities were going to be, and now they want to pit, some of the groups against each other.
Right.
We want to put a team there, so who's interested? Of all you people in Seattle, who wants a team here?
Yeah.
So there's different ways to go about it. I don't know. I know I didn't answer your question, but I think baseball can't do anything the way they've done before because of the fact that right now there's just that big hurdle that everybody's got to get over.
It'll be fine.
If there's a lockout for like 2 seasons, I don't think they're going to come back and go, we're adding 2 more teams.
Yeah, I didn't. Jim Duquette didn't make me feel that much better because a lot of the people that we had on and a lot of the people that I spoke with, they don't think that time is going to be missed. But when he said, yeah, if the players are really stuck on this no salary cap thing, they could hold out. But my whole question has been hold out for until what end, though?
Yeah.
That's been my question.
Baseball can't go to the salary cap. They can't. It's not going to work.
They're going to.
They can't. Then they're going to get shut down. They're going to ruin everything. They're going to ruin all the momentum that they somehow, some way, in spite of themselves, have built up.
I mean, it's like when your check engine light is on. You can check it now or you can check it later, but you're going to have to get it resolved.
Really? But everyone's making money. What's the problem? I think the problem is owner on owner. Like, you're spending too much money.
Right.
You're not spending enough money. Yeah. Salary cap. And the player's like, whoa, you guys need to settle it. We're all doing well here.
Yeah.
Are the Dodgers bad? I don't like the Dodgers. Are they bad for baseball?
I don't think so.
No.
And it pains me as a, fan of a top 3 brand in baseball and the Giants. But
you're a Red Sox
fan? What was that?
Yeah,
you Cubs?
As I was saying.
Peter Crow.
Crow Armstrong.
PCA.
Yes, sir.
Matty Shaw.
So, brands like that, how important it is to keep this momentum going.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully the owners do. No, to that point. And that was the thing about Jim Duquette. Jim is not, he's a player development guy and a scout. He's not an executive in terms of, financial. So he was answering it just, I hope you guys are right. I look at it the way you do. Hopefully they'll be able to figure it out. But on to a more pleasant story here. Mm-hmm. They're on their way to the moon, right? Artemis 2?
Yes.
Yeah. So it got me to thinking of the best baseball story I've ever heard. Do you know the story of the moon and Gaylord Perry? Have you ever heard this story?
No.
You know who Gaylord Perry is?
Yes.
Okay. Gaylord Perry, a Hall of Fame pitcher. I don't believe he's with us any longer. But do we have Gaylord? Here's Gaylord Perry explaining the greatest story ever, Alan.
Hello, I'm Gaylord.
Whoop. We had a little.
Gaylord Perry. Played baseball 22 years in the big leagues. Had some great fun. But one of the funnest stories I had was the Man on the Moon story. 1964 in Pittsburgh, the old ballpark. I was hitting the ball out in the ballpark, and Harry Jupiter, a San Francisco sports writer in the afternoon paper, told Alvin Dark, "I'm manager, this Perry kid's going to hit some home runs for you." Alvin says a few adjectives with that, said it'll be a man on the moon before he does that. So 5 years later, I'm on the mound in Candlestick Park in San Francisco, pitching against the Dodgers, and we have a moment of silence. The man had landed on the moon. Bottom of that inning, I hit my first home run. How about that, folks?
How about that, folks? I talked to Gaylord Perry in the Giants clubhouse, spring training 2012. He said, yeah, that happened. That happened. So 1964, a writer's talking to the manager, says, he's going to hit a home run for you. There'll be a man on the moon before that happens. And there was, Alan, by like half an hour.
Wow. That is so coincidental. That's funny.
I'm still not sure it's real, but a lot of it adds up. And Gaylord Perry told me, oh, yeah.
Well, if it's there, right? The dates are there, right? Baseball reference. It happened.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Greatest baseball story ever? Perhaps.
Top 3. Top 3 for sure.
What about this one? Is this a great baseball story? Or maybe this is just a coincidence. You know Jamie Moyer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 2 guys in the history of baseball, played Major League Baseball, named Moyer. Jamie Moyer, his career record, 269, 209. He was at one time the oldest player in the major leagues, had the most wins, strikeouts, the oldest guy to do this, oldest guy to do that. There was another guy named Ed Moyer who pitched in 1910. Those are the only 2 guys in history to be named Moyer who pitched in the big leagues, who played in the big leagues. Ed Moyer died on November 18th, 1962. That happens to be the day Jamie Moyer was born. Come on.
Tinfoil Friday.
Come on, Alan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's pretty crazy.
Not related.
Right, not related.
Not related.
Only one allowed at a time. One in, one out. Wow.
How did that happen?
That is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Do you share a birthday or any type of day with anybody?
I think Tommy John, has the same birthday.
No, like a relative.
A relative?
Yeah, like a relative.
No.
Okay.
Jody Bacon has the same birthday as I do, and my friend Justin's wife, Mariana, has the same birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no.
No. Why? Okay. Where are you going?
No, I was just curious, because it's all intermingled.
Uh-huh.
With birthdays and families. And
me and Matt, George, and Kayla are like 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can't tell if you're being nice or if you realize how incredible these stories are.
That's crazy, but they're not related, though.
Not related.
Yeah, but still share the same last name.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean, well, now that we're here, does that mean that somewhere, right, somewhere down the line there is something? If they have the same last name, you're just telling me it's random?
What?
There's just, if you have the same last name, you could just keep going back.
It means that this is all a simulation.
I'm just saying, just keep going back.
Yeah.
If you have the same last name, just keep going back somewhere. There's got to be some connection.
Oh, so some...
I'm saying further back than 23andMe, whatever it is.
Well, maybe not because of the way we do it where, the man...
Oh,
the
the wedding, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you can have the same name and not necessarily be related by blood.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I just want to say our new boss, the boss man, I want to throw his name out there because he's, he doesn't want his name out there right now. Fact of the matter is he did make up a good point. You're talking about something, Alan. He's like 23andMe, and the boss man like, dude, it goes all the way back to prehistoric time.
No. I'm before that.
Before prehistoric time?
Before that.
There is no before.
What is before that?
I don't know.
The Big Bang? What is that?
Before that. Them Moyers are related. Somewhere they're related.
Yeah.
Before that.
Before what, man?
You tell me,
the dawn
Jay.
of time?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
But Whitey makes a good point with the wedding stuff.
Right. Yeah. We're going to get you ready for Kings basketball here coming up. As if you need any help with that. The great Jerry Reynolds. It's been too long since we talked to Jerry, hasn't it?
Thank you. Now, Jerry will come on, and we'll get this thing where it needs to be.
Which is what? Where?
Don't worry about it,
I guarantee the legend is not going to agree with you on nothing today.
Jerry and I, look, we have conversations, all right? When two, I guess, beautiful minds get together, and you guys see it every time he's on these airwaves, it's just magic. So I'm really excited to talk with you.
Okay.
Because you guys today...
Can't wait.
You guys today, it started out spicy, but I stand on business, and that's what I did, Jay, even though Christopher Lodge sending texts as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't... Look, I'll ride by myself, but I know Jerry's always going to have my back.
Let me knock you off your high horse.
Yeah. I don't know that you want to assume that.
Oh, no, I'm assuming.
We'll find out when the great Jerry Reynolds joins us next on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers!
If
every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
KHD HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Well, Alan Stiles thinks that the great Jerry Reynolds is going to pretty much agree with everything he's got for us today.
Oh, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's my guy, Jer.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what he thinks of the Final Four. How's your bracket looking?
I haven't checked.
Oh.
I mean, Michigan is still in it, but like I said, when you pick a team a lot of other people have, you got to get other stuff right, and I did not get that other stuff right.
Yeah, let's see how his bracket's looking. The one and only all-time Kings icon, Jerry Reynolds. How you doing today, Coach?
Well, I wasn't doing good till I listened to you guys doing the Moyer thing. And I'm a little disappointed in you, Whitey. You know, as you know, I'm a history buff, taught it in college and stuff. And as you may have forgotten, probably, that you go back, there was one of the books of the Bible was kept out. It's called the Book of Moyer.
Oh.
And, by, I think, Ezekiel Moyer. And it basically traces they begat and begat and begat.
Yeah.
Right up to, so I think those guys were related.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
I mean, I can't verify it, Alan, but I'm fairly certain,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I stand corrected. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want you to do your due diligence, which you apparently failed to do on this occasion.
Yeah, I still think it's an interesting story, Jerry. I know it's a coincidence, but it's still kind of one of my favorite baseball factoids, whatever it is.
Well, that is. I mean, that doesn't match up to the man on the moon thing, but it's a good one.
How are you looking with your? I don't know if you have a bracket. What are you expecting to happen with the Final Four stuff tomorrow?
Well, I think I'm expecting, and probably like most people, just guessing. I think Arizona will find a way to beat Michigan, and the two best teams, which that won't mean anything. Whoever advances, they'll have to prove it again. But then I like UConn over Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be not confident in either way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, awfully good teams, and probably come down to a few plays. But I do like Arizona just a little better than Michigan, which makes them my favorite to win it all. I don't think UConn can beat either one of them.
Jerry,
or Illinois.
Yeah, Jerry, we got the Final Four going on, and then we're all counting down for the lottery and, of course, the NBA draft. When I look at some of the players, the young players on the Kings right now with Cardwell, and of course, you have Maxime Raynaud. Jerry, how would you approach drafting similar players? Terrace Reed Jr. has gotten pretty hot here for UConn. He's a center that's got some good footwork. Would you care at all if you're the Kings drafting another center when you have two young centers, or drafting a Malik Thomas out of Arkansas who is, pretty similar to, I would say, a Neat Clifford in a way, both shooting guards? Would you care at all about that, or you running it like high school and college and just getting some young guys out there and may the best man win, Jerry?
Well, when you're picking in the lottery, you better pick whoever you think is the very best player, because as we've talked about before, in my opinion, the Kings have some really good players. What they don't have is a star, a guy that could be a top 10 player in the league. And that doesn't mean you can find it in the draft, but if you can, and if you're in the lottery, low lottery, that's what you better be looking for. And if it's a forward, and you've got forwards, so be it. Because, I mean, it goes back to the classic screw up where, the Portland Trailblazers passed on Michael Jordan because they had Clyde Drexler.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember the Sacramento Kings passed on Karl Malone because they had Otis Thorpe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both Drexler and Thorpe were terrific players, but they should have taken those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'd say. In other words, in my mind, is the draft looks like there's going to be some terrific young players in it, a little deeper than maybe I thought. And wherever you're picking, get the very best guy you can get and sort it out after that, because you can always trade talent.
Jerry, how does it break down if you're making the decision, and let's just say you've got a choice between like Caleb Wilson, terrific upside, little rough around the edges, not a great shooter yet, or Boozer, who seems like more of a sure fit. When it comes down to decisions like that, and I ask you because I know you've made them, do you really rely on the scouts? Does it depend on your situation, whether you can take that risk? I mean, how do GMs go about figuring stuff out like that, where it's like, this guy, he should be a sure thing. The other guy might be better, but he might be worse.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. I mean, I think that's what you do. You get as much information as you can, certainly from different opinions. You should be getting information from scouts and other people that you trust in the league. And then I always say, if it comes down to a need, so you got two guys that you can't decide which is better.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, so you got two or three guys. You say, well, we can't pick between them as far as who is the best player or will be the best player. Then you probably ought to look at need. What your immediate needs are, and if one of those three fits a position you just don't have, probably makes sense to go that direction. But if there's any one guy out of the three, even though they're close, you're determined and convinced he's the best, even though you have a good player at that position, you still should take him.
Jerry, I know this player is done now, but they had a pretty good run. Whitey was on him early, and it's kind of cooled off just because of the way he plays. Do you have any thoughts on Kingston Flemings, Jerry? I've been trying to see it with Kingston Flemings, and I know he's got a little bit more athleticism than maybe he's shown throughout the season in that great system that Houston has. But I'm confused as to what to do with Kingston Flemings, Jerry. How much have you seen of him?
I've watched him about 3 games. I'm a big fan of Kelvin Sampson, as espoused many times. But I like him a lot. I mean, I don't know that he's going to come in the league and set it on fire right away. I mean, I think defensively he's probably the best defensive point guard, and he can run a team. I don't know offensively. I just haven't. I mean, he's had some good big games, but I'm not convinced that he'll be an offensive threat right away. And I think there's guards that I like a little better than him, to be truthful. I mean, certainly I like Acuff better. I realize people that talk about he doesn't play defense, and I said, well, that would eliminate Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic and actually Anthony Edwards when he came out in college. So if that's how you're going to judge it, right, you might be a little disappointed. But I like Braden Burries.
Me
probably,
too.
I tell you what, that guy seems to be interesting these games coming up. But man, he makes shots, he makes plays, good size, can play with the ball, without the ball. Looks like one of those guys that's going to find a way to be awfully good to me. And Wegler for Illinois a little bit the same. I think his body's going to need a little more time, but those guys are going to find ways they might be, stars fairly quick.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of guys playing this weekend, Jerry, do you have memories of Andre Stojakovic hanging around practice, hanging around with his dad? Did you kind of see him grow up a little bit on the hardwood?
Didn't really. Mm-hmm. I don't recall him being around Page much at that. Of course, he was so, just didn't remember too many of the players bringing their kids around in those days. But, followed him. I mean, I thought, I saw him play a few games early in the year, and he was really, I just didn't see him as a draftable player. Mm-hmm. But really, the last couple of games he's played, I think he's helped himself a lot. He's still amazes me how Stojakovic is not a good 3-point shooter. That's like blasphemous. But then but then again, he's really a tough defender and really goes to the basket hard. He's got a lot of things going for him. I've enjoyed watching him.
Yeah, Jerry, I know the idea of drafting for need or not drafting someone because you already have someone at the position. You said that is a no-no. But what about if you need something, Jerry? What about the idea that the Kings are pretty terrible at shooting the 3-point ball, Jerry, and that's really important. Would you kind of be caught up in, I don't know, staying away from a Caleb Wilson because he doesn't really shoot the 3 ball that well and the Kings are bad at shooting threes? Or would you say, look, he's so good athletically, if he's there for us at 4 versus, I don't know, if Acuff is still there for you, would you still go for the bigger frame guy and hope that he can figure that part of his game out?
Oh, I'd go for the bigger frame guy, and if he's the best athlete with Wilson, I mean, if he's got a chance to be a real star, you can get 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, an Isaiah Joe, every team has got some guys that probably for the right price and trade value, you could improve your 3-point shooting. There's guys available. Look at Plowden. So anyway, I think, you don't want to confuse a specific skill that could probably be filled rather easily. Should be able to. They didn't do it, but they should be able to, and as opposed to passing on a potential star.
Mm-hmm. I know you're a great student of the game, obviously, and we know that DeMar just passed Dominique Wilkins, and next up on the all-time scoring list, Oscar Robertson. When DeMar came out of USC, Jerry, did you have any idea he'd be as impactful as he's been as a scorer?
No, I really didn't. I mean, certainly, I'm not surprised that he's been really good. And maybe and like any of those guys at that time, you thought you could see where they could be all-stars, and certainly in his case, because he could really score. But no, I didn't envision the level of success that he's had at all, and that's a credit to him, and still a very efficient scorer. When you're talking about passing Oscar Robertson, I didn't envision that, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? You have three guys from the top of that draft now. Well, not the very top, but Harden and Curry and DeMar DeRozan, all with more than 25,000 points, Jer.
Yeah, it is a kind of of course, part of the game today where guys play longer.
Yeah.
They back in Oscar's day or whatever, I mean, basically the time they turned 31 or 2, that was kind of the end game was in sight, and so, but the money is so good. And then, just the nutrition, travel, all that just allows guys to play longer, and that's great. And of course, if you play longer, you got a chance to score more points, Whitey. You know that? If you get more games and you get to shoot more, you get more points.
Yeah, that's why your good friend Rick Barry always says, people say, would you be any good today? And he says, I'd have the better training and everything and better food. And he says, I'd be way better than
I think he's right.
Yeah,
I mean, now, it's a different, but each era, it's like, it's not fair to compare, great sprinters, Jesse Owens, to the great sprinters of today.
Yeah.
All he could do is be faster than anybody that was there. And so that's what I say. Each era has its own great players, and let them be great and enjoy, respect them. And then as the new ones come along, and I don't like old guys putting down the new guys either, because somebody played back in the 50s can't know what the guys in 2025 and 6 are going through.
Jerry, I've been a little stuck on the Precious Achiuwa thing because the Kings went out and traded for DeAndre Hunter. But I had this thought that crossed my mind, and I'm curious if you think we could see something like this, assuming the Kings can even afford Precious Achiuwa at this point next season. Would you see a lineup, Jerry? And I think Precious would still come off the bench, but would you see a lineup, or could you see a lineup that would feature Precious, DeAndre Hunter, and Keegan Murray on the court at the same time?
You could. You could play small ball with that lineup. I don't think you could want to do it a lot of minutes. Might be a 12, 15-minute thing, but Precious can guard centers. A lot of the centers in the league. Obviously, there's some that he can't, but that would be part of the coaching thing to find out what you could. But certainly, athletically and all, he's strong enough. I'm really been impressed with him. I really have. I hope the Kings can keep him. And certainly the draft would have something to do with it. If you were to get DeBonsa, well, the truth is his value would be a lot less going forward. Because you do have, the commitments to Hunter and Keegan. But yeah, I think Scott Perry really deserves a lot of credit for that pickup, because I think the biggest problem is just going to be keeping.
Yeah.
People around the league are seeing the same thing, folks. I think he'll have some value.
Does he qualify to be one of your tough buckaroos, Precious Achiuwa?
He's got some buckaroo in him. He's got a little bit of buckaroo in him.
But, Jerry, I was even thinking, what if you bumped them up and you ran, Maxime at the 5 or Sabonis at the 5? Could you run Keegan at the 2 and then go 2, 3, 4 with Precious at the 4?
Now, here's where Alan starts getting a little.
No. I'm just curious. No, I'm just curious.
And,
well, Jerry, we when we get Jerry on, I'm just curious the optionality that the Kings could have if they can keep a talent like Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah, well, I think you could. I don't think it'd be very good.
Okay.
I mean, I think that Keegan, Keegan at 2 is not something that warms my heart. I mean, Hunter might have a better chance,
right,
of playing 2, but then I think there's several guys on the roster that probably have a better chance. So I think. But those are good problems to have, Alan. I mean, really, it's like, well, if Sabonis is still here, and if you've got him, well. And certainly Raynaud has really had an excellent rookie year. Mm-hmm. So there's probably next year is quite honestly going to be a sorting out year, even with the good draft, and just keep as much talent as you can, and see if you can get a lot better.
Well, now, Jerry, it's time for your Flashback Friday question of the day from, of course, Jay. What do you got, brother?
My guy, legend himself. I was gonna hit you with one question, but I'm a flip on there. Let's talk a little Adrian Dantley.
Ooh.
The first foul line free throw merchant, as Alan likes to talk about. Of course, Adrian 6'5", could do a lot of different things. I don't really remember
Had a big
Adrian
behind,
Dantley.
Jay.
You would say that?
Yeah, big behind.
Did he?
Yeah.
That rump?
So.
Well, I'll let the legend talk about the rump, man, the backbone. Just what are your thoughts on Adrian Dantley and who he was? And I mean, he's a top guy in the 80s for a long time, but I don't really remember Adrian Dantley.
Yeah, he really was. 6'5" might be stretching a little bit, but very, very strong physical player. And I always remember Frank Layden really would run him to the top of the key and get him there with a live dribble and let him try to break guys down. And, of course, he did, and he'd get to the line. Probably the best at getting to the line, of several decades. He's right there with Gilgeous Alexander, his own way, able to draw the contact, go through guys. Had a post-up game, even though he's small, but could really post guys up. Actually, he and Mark Aguirre were very similar, although Dantley was smaller and really couldn't shoot the deep ball as well, but could really score. I mean, he was one of those 30-point guys that, boy, if you didn't get the ball out of his hands, he's going to score. Mm-hmm. I was always remember what we tried to do is just as soon as he got it, run a second guy at him, and a lot of times it worked because he just didn't want to give it up. He'd go ahead and try to score on 2, and sometimes, of course, he could. He'd find a way to do it. But great, just a terrific offensive player. And in college at Notre Dame, I mean, he was just a marvelous college player, one of the elites in that whole decade, really.
Yeah. But I think, Coach, people want to know about the big behind because, they heard me talking about it. I'm right. Wasn't he kind of known for being he'd back you down because he had a little extra room back there to do it with?
Yes, he had his full quota of rear end, and like I say, much like Mark Aguirre was that way. Of course, the all-timer was Wayman.
I was gonna say, compare him to Wayman on the scale. Put it on the scale.
Well, I mean, Wayman wasn't near as mobile as Adrian at all, but when he could post up guys better. I mean, when he posted, you stayed posted. You couldn't get around that big butt. And I've told this story many times. Buck Williams, one of the best defenders in that decade, would say, I can guard anybody in the league except Wayman Tisdale. He said, I can't. He puts that big butt on me, I can't move.
And then here comes a Tizzy flip, right?
And then the Tizzy flip. Yeah. Tizzy could score. He could score. I mean, he really could. 6'7", power forward at a time when power forwards were supposed to be 6'10" or 11. But that was kind of the problem. But Adrian, one of the elite scorers. He really one of those guys like some just really has never gotten the credit he probably should. For his abilities, and I know he was a player that was with the Pistons, and they moved him to get Mark Aguirre, then won their championships. And I think that hurt him, in the realm of speculation, so to speak. And I don't think it is true at all. I think they had won 2 with him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, all that legacy stuff. By the way, before we let you go, how gratifying is it to you to see a team like Arizona they could win it all. And, Jerry, as you well know, they do not rely very much on the three-point shot. How refreshing is that? How nice is that for you to see?
It is great. I mean, they are good three-point shooters, but they take them when they're really open and they play inside out. And they really do play a lot of half court. It just kind of warms my heart, to see that. And by the way, before I go, I heard a true legend earlier this afternoon when I was walking. So the Phantom was on with you guys.
Yes.
The Phantom.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I put him just right there with, just a notch below Pete Carroll. I mean, that's
it's
like
pretty
I
close, though.
Called him pretty close. I mean, he comes up with he's got a little wisdom. He's got some wisdom. I didn't realize that, his baseball wisdom is almost equal to his basketball wisdom. So he's full of wisdom, isn't he?
He's full of something. It might be wisdom. Yeah. And I knew that you might be listening, and I'm sorry that I didn't ask Mr. Basketball any basketball questions, but we ran out of time. But I'm glad you got to hear some of that.
I appreciate that because then I'd have felt insignificant if you'd have started talking to him. And I'm just glad I could bring up a few things from the medieval times. The Book of Moyer, which of course you should have known about.
Well, nobody's perfect, but I appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, keep up the semi-good work.
You got it. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys.
The one and only
Wow.
Jerry Reynolds, who did not agree with everything that you said, especially when it came to your idea to play Keegan Murray at the 2.
No. I wasn't saying I would play Keegan Murray at the 2.
He was very diplomatic.
I was asking.
You could do that. I don't know that I would.
He said it doesn't warm my heart. It doesn't warm my heart.
Right.
Yeah. I would, but, maybe DeAndre Hunter at the 2. Yeah. I'm just trying to, if we're going to keep Precious Achiuwa, I'm just trying to get as much out of it as possible. Mm-hmm. That's all.
You're on board, though, right? Before you were over there, oh, yeah, have fun with that. That bandwagon ain't going nowhere. And now it's like, hey, could I just...
No. That's not what's happening.
You got a spot over here? And
no, that's not what's happening.
I've been wanting to come on board here for a long time.
What's happening is exactly what's happening with the Giants and Sacramento, right? I don't think we're going to have to talk about it, but if we talk about it, then I will be prepared, right? They don't think that Sacramento is going to get a team, but if they do, they're going to have to do what they have to do. I don't think the Kings are going to be able to keep Precious Achiuwa, but if they do, I'm hedging my bet a little bit just with some Precious Achiuwa conversations.
Well, in all seriousness, they don't have a ton of cap room, do they? They would have to move some things that are hard to do.
On the MGP, Matt George podcast, he said if they wanted to keep Precious Achiuwa, one of those big contracts would have to go. And I think again, I'm not picking on this guy. He's my favorite player on the Kings. If you found a way to, here's the problem though. You find a way to move Malik Monk, that money still has to match. You're still stuck on that money. So you can't just get rid of Malik Monk's money and then sign Precious Achiuwa. You can't do it.
So how about DeMar and that guarantee? Is there some
maybe that's
there?
Is that when they finally say, look, the train ends here. Thank you for the ride. The train ends here.
Yeah. Some tough choices ahead. Did the Wizards take April Fools too far? Alan Stiles, fair or foul? We haven't done this before on this.
We have not.
We have not.
We have not.
We will do it next. Yippee on Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento. Get ready because the Sactown Sports Live events calendar is packed with can't-miss shows all season long. It all starts April 28th with Benjamin Todd live at Ace of Spades. Then May 9th, big night, big choices. Laugh with Tim Ellen at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Or catch the iconic Sail live at Thunder Valley Casino Resort, happening on the same night. Rock lives on May 16th when Jason Bonham brings his Led Zeppelin evening to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. And don't miss Lenny Kravitz May 22nd at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. June 6th, sing along with Richard Marx also at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then catch all the summer vibes July 10th with Rascal Flatts at Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic. August keeps the party going with Kane Brown at Ironstone Amphitheater August 16th and Ty Myers August 22nd at Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic. From comedy to rock to country, if it's live, it's here. Check the Sactown Sports Live events calendar and plan your next night out today.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on. Treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices. As a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
If you're serious about getting better at golf, start with the fit. At Hagen Oaks, everything begins with Total Game Fitting. The TrackMan Player Performance Studio analyzes your swing to match you with the right clubs. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball for your game. The Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And with FootJoy's 3D foot scanner, you'll walk the course in shoes that actually fit. From driver to putter and even what's on your feet, Hagen Oaks fits every part of your game. Total Game Fitting, only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Alan Stiles has an update on Luka and his eligibility for awards.
Yes, this is from Chris Mannix. Luka Doncic has a strong case to meet the extraordinary circumstances exception to the 65-game rule.
What we say he's played in 64.
Yes.
And they said he's out for the year.
Yes, or the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, regular season, yeah.
Right, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Doncic missed 2 games to travel to Europe for the birth of his child. He will have to file a grievance with an independent arbitrator, but my guess is he will win, and the NBA won't challenge it.
It sounds like some straight Laker stuff.
Well, I want to know.
I'm going to keep it 1,000.
Well, I want to know, how close is Cade? Because I haven't heard about this with Cade, but maybe that's not considered extraordinary. It's just an injury.
Yeah, he's hurt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But come on. First of all, we rescinded a technical for no reason. They never specify what happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And now we're going to get what do they call? Something exemption? What was the adjective?
Extraordinary circumstances exception.
Do anybody even, have we ever heard of this?
No.
Come on.
I haven't. I have not.
That's ridiculous.
I have not.
I think it's only available to Laker players.
Yeah,
that sounds
a Laker
right.
to be eligible for that.
That does sound right.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of the other players that are right there on the cusp would. Well, it depends on what the extraordinary circumstances are. If
well, that's what I'm saying.
You got hurt. Sorry, you can't do it. But he had to go
be a father. Just like everybody else in the league.
Yeah. I mean,
it's better for the league that he's on there. It's better for the league that they waive it and let all those guys, really good players, qualify. But obviously, they're not going to do that.
To that point, Jay, it might be a little bit of, hey, everybody's already on us for this 65-game thing. Let's make sure at least Luka gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's make sure at least Luka gets it because we're already in a tough situation with everybody on us about the rule anyway.
I don't want to steer the show somewhere else because I know you're getting ready to do something, Alan. But really, fellas, I'll say this. coming into this season, and maybe last season, let's take it back to last season, I think my fondness of Adam Silver is starting to come, the meter has come way down. Like going into last season, I would have probably gave him some very good remarks and, some great, if we're talking about a 0 to 10 scale, it'd be very high for me compared to a lot of the other commissioners. But over the last 2 seasons, we're at the end of this season, so the last 2 seasons, he's lost me.
Well, I think when he started, he really established himself in the eyes of many, maybe you, certainly me, the way he dealt with the Donald Sterling situation. It's like, oh, all right, you're standing for something.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
That's
and
how
now
it started.
Just seems like, okay, what you're standing for is whatever makes the most money for the league.
Yeah, for the
That's
league.
your job, but it's just hard for me to get really excited about that.
Well, I think that's how I felt about it. In my opinion, Whitey, to the whole Donald Sterling thing, kind of seemed like a layup, no pun intended. It kind of felt like he was put in a situation and he said, oh, this is what everybody wants me to do, so I'm going to do it. And everyone said, man, look at him. Now, are there commissioners out there that maybe wouldn't have done it? Maybe.
It was a layup, but it was a layup in traffic, and it was an important shot.
Euro step. Yeah, there you go.
Can you imagine him playing basketball?
No.
Who is the hardest commissioner to imagine playing his own sport?
Adam Silver. Well, he is kind of tall and lanky, though.
Yeah.
But
it's probably Silver.
I'm not running you at the 2.
Manfred, I don't see Manfred playing baseball.
I can see Goodell, linebacker.
Oh, Goodell, easily.
Yeah.
Where's Bettman at?
Who?
Look like Bettman?
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
Look, who? Look at who was that?
Batman.
Yeah.
Gary Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to see.
Garber?
Silver.
Garber? MLS?
I don't even know what he looks like.
Right.
I do, unfortunately, because he came and shook my hand and said, congratulations.
Oh.
I remember when all that happened. Yeah. That's when I called them up to try to get an interview with them, and they aired, hold on 1 minute. You say you're from Sacramento? Yes. Are you calling to, to be an investor? No.
More money.
No, I am not. Oh, okay, hold on. So
didn't happen.
Click.
That's when I started to wonder if things were a little shakier than anybody
for anybody,
knew.
But sorry, I'm getting another call.
Yes. Well, okay. Yes, Commissioner Silver, you've lost a lot of people here.
Well, yeah. And now once it turns into the snowball, now everybody's going to bag on you.
Mm-hmm.
Once that starts, good luck. And that's where he's at now.
Yeah. And he's got a lot still that he's got to figure out here.
Mm-hmm.
The tanking thing is really almost, in some ways it's secondary to everything with the Kawhi and the Clippers. And it just seems like their strategy is just park that for as long as we can. Eventually people are going to stop paying attention to it.
Yeah. And let's make sure Luka gets his first team.
Right.
So,
people will notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The other stuff.
Yeah, you guys didn't even know we had this exception.
This is exactly why we have this exemption, and we're pleased that this will allow one of our great players to receive the honors that he so richly deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what he's going to say.
Yeah. Now, how does Allen's fair or foul work?
So how fair or foul works is I'm going to give you 3. Well, it could be vary from segment to segment, but today I have
and Jay?
For you and Jay.
Okay.
So very simple. I have 3 storylines for you. And you will say fair or foul, and we will have a discussion about it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
So let's start with this one, guys. I don't know if you
need
saw
any crazy music or anything, or
if Jay's
take
feeling
me out
something.
to the ballpark. or something?
Yeah. If Jay wants something, he can fire something.
What do you
up.
normally play on a style show?
We've only done this a couple times.
So there was nothing?
No.
It was silent?
Well, no, Kyle always had some Doja Cat.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got you. We'll figure it out here.
Kyle always had something in the chamber. But we're going to start here, Whitey. And we mentioned this at the beginning of the show a little bit. We're going to start with the Chicago Cubs and that, a fan that was there on their laptop working very hard at the game. Fair or foul, being on your laptop at a top 5 brand, okay, like the Cubs. Fair or foul, being on your laptop, working at the game, and fair or foul for the Cubs, putting them on blast where he probably didn't tell anybody he was going to be out.
You're desecrating one of the, I've never been there, but my understanding is it's one of the most hallowed ballparks in the country. You go there and you're doing work at the ball game.
He had a separate mouse.
You do not belong. That's not why you're there. You're making everybody around you look bad. The Cubs are right to put him on blast. Him or her?
Him.
Them. Yes, and that is foul. Lifetime ban from Major League Wow. Eligible for reinstatement next week.
Jay?
Wow. It's kind of Adam Silverish. I like where you went.
Jay, fair or foul?
I'm going fair. Have you looked at the gas prices around this parts? The petro was higher than giraffe tail. And right now, if you have to go and have a little entertainment in your life, all by still making a little bit of cash, of coin to put in your checking account, your savings account, then please do it. Gone are the times where you could buy a house for $7,500, where you could go get a brand new car for $10K right off the lot.
Long, especially in Chicago.
There you go. You got to take the L. You got to put a backpack on. Matter of fact, it's still cold in Chicago right now.
Yep.
So any way that you could go catch a ball game, please do however you please, man.
You make it sound like I'm just here for the free Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, shout out Wrigley.
I can't afford Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I got to come to the stadium.
I was going to say, shout out Wrigley for that strong Wi-Fi.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, on a laptop, I
Come on
can't
now,
even get
baby.
it to work on my phone. So I'm going fair on this.
Absolutely.
If you are in a position, right, we all got different jobs. If you're in a position to catch a ball game, and it's, I think the only thing I would say, Whitey, is the fact that it's so early in the season, I think is a little like, right? If it was in the middle of July, I think I might be closer to foul, but I'm going fair. Good for you.
And how about this, Alan? Let me piggyback one more time. You're talking to somebody who's okay with taking a glove to a ball game at this point. So why not bring a deal?
That's right.
Well? Come on, man.
That's right. Get your MacBook.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he's got it well charged.
Nova.
Oh, I got back.
Yeah.
Looks like he's on, like their
My
bleachers.
MacBook Pro.
Your Acer. Bring your Acer.
And he went viral, so I'm sure somebody from his office saw. So shout out to that man. Next on the list, guys, we'll go quick with the second one because we spoke a little bit about it yesterday.
A lot of laptop brands.
That's right. Intel. Casey Schmidt, one game later, now they beat the Mets after this, but Matt Chapman saying catch the bleeping ball to Casey Schmidt getting caught on camera. Fair or foul to call out your teammate and unfortunately get caught on television. Jay, let's start with you. Fair or foul?
It's fair. I mean, unfortunately, he got caught. And as much as I talk bad about the situation, I was just more or less hating because I was talking to Alan about the Giants. The truth of the matter is Mr. Schmidt, you're getting paid a whole heck of a lot of money, not to be counting your pockets, but at the same time, there's been so much contingency on what position he should play. Should we move this person over there? This is not his best position, but we still need to get him on the field. Remember, you guys cut Matos to bring up some guy, no disrespect. But yeah, you guys have moved around. It's like musical chairs with the San Francisco Giants. Unfortunately, things aren't going to play out the way it is. So with Matt Chapman going oblivious over the top on Mr. Schmidt, I'm calling it fair.
It would have been foul. It was a bad look for everyone, but the great Tony V turned it into a W and made it fair when he was on, I don't know if it was MLB Network. Did you see what he did, seriously, when they asked him about it? And he said, oh, no, he didn't say catch the effing ball. He referenced Step Brothers and something about what is it, the effing, there's some line in there. Anyway.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I didn't see that.
We'll get the video for you. Yeah. And the people that did the interview were cracking
Oh, yeah.
up.
He's cracking it. I'm telling you, man.
And he was laughing.
He's
Tony
perfect.
V saves the day.
And last but not least, guys, the main.
Fair or foul, Alan?
Fair.
Okay.
Oh, you know me. Come on, that's fair. Last but not least, guys, fair or foul. Whitey, you weren't here on April Fools, but we didn't run any April Fools jokes. The Wizards did. The Wizards had somebody take a half-court shot blindfolded and all cheered. They told everybody to cheer to pretend like they won $10,000. When they didn't, then they said, April Fools, you did not win this money. The Wizards got so much backlash for it They had to put out a statement. We apologize for last night's April Fool's joke that left many wondering if we had misled a fan. The skit involving our mascot and the other members of our performance team was scripted and intended to celebrate the day. All participants were in on the joke, but we missed the mark. Our fans are our priority, and we continue to be committed to providing a positive experience to all who attend our game. So I think that's part 2 of it. They're saying that the
it was all set up.
contestant didn't think that they won money.
Right.
Is it fair or foul because the fans thought you did something dirty?
It's fair for 2 reasons. One, the first thing I heard about it, I realized, look, that has to be a bit. The whole thing's a bit, which it was. Secondly, when you're tanking, Alan, as they're tanking.
That's right.
You got to tank everything, including your promotions. You got everything you do. They clearly were tanking that promotion because that organization is committed to getting the best pick they can get. So for that reason, I say fair. That's
wow.
Fair. That's
Jay?
fair.
Absolutely foul ball.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The fact that you've intertwined all these circus acts during your basketball game because you can't put out a type of product that people want to come and see. You want to get out here full fans, and we don't know. Maybe they say faced, and the contestant came out and said, "Oh well, I knew I wasn't gonna make any money." That's not the way it looked to our eyes.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is I think they're trying to do some cleanup duty. They've had to go to emergency, break glass situation. Absolutely foul ball by the Wizards. A terrible organization for doing terrible things.
That's the other thing. Nobody was there. It was a Wizards game. Nobody saw it.
Well,
you offended your fans. What,
Yeah.
3 people?
It was on TV, Whitey.
Yeah. You know how they air on League Pass? League Pass and commercials.
We get to see it all.
You get to see it all. Somebody caught on League Pass. Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go foul just because the community at large has said it was foul.
Yeah,
so
you're
it's
gonna
that
foul
simple to me.
because you are SOFT soft.
Yes, maybe. Maybe. And look, people didn't like it, then it was a miss.
Oh, people didn't like it, so I'm going to say...
Frank Caliendo, if nobody laughed at my joke, it wasn't funny, right? Comedians.
MLB's home run leader plays in Sacramento tonight. Details on that coming up next on Sactown Sports. SOS.
The Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com to join.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today. When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
One of those rare nights. We got the Kings at home tonight. We got the Athletics home against the, at one time, hated Houston Astros.
Yeah, that was, they never got there though, right? There's different types of hating.
Well, not to dredge all this up, but when the A's were still in Oakland, the Astros were hated.
Right, but it wasn't, was there hate watching though? Right? Because I feel like there's a layer of admiration to hate watching.
Oh, yeah, it was different than that. It was just honest to goodness hate and resentment for them blatantly breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember it was an A's pitcher that kind of called them out.
That's right.
Like fires.
And remember Altuve, don't take off my jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I was like, what? That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
And then your boy, Commissioner Manfred, well, we had to make sure the players are being honest, so we gave them amnesty, and it's just a hunk of metal. It's the trophy, so what's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
Yeah, yeah.
Ridiculous.
But the big deal is that the A's need to get it going. They're off to a slow start. I know it's early, but it gets late early around here, too. The A's are hitting 177, according to Joe Davidson, will be last in the majors through yesterday, 177. But Shea Langoliers leads Major League Baseball with 5 home runs.
1-5 they are?
Yeah, that's not great.
So I was going to say they just need some home cooking. Does that still apply to the A's? Is it home cooking or?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Right?
I really think a big reason they lost all those games last year, 19-20, was because it was like they were still getting acclimated. Mm-hmm. And I know some people may get angry at that, but I don't. It's not an excuse. I just think it's the fact of the matter.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you guys the same thing that I guess was posed on the morning show, because I already gave my answer. So you, Whitey, and
the morning show on this station?
Yeah, when they were talking about the excitement.
Yeah.
With Daskow, when they had him on.
Uh-huh.
Whitey, Jay, do you guys feel like the level of excitement for the A's is greater than last season? Because I said no. I said I didn't feel that.
I think I'd have to go out there to know for sure, but based on what I've experienced, there's a little bit more of a sense of, okay, we know what it is now, and there's a little bit more enthusiasm over there. Partial embrace of Sacramento. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to see. Does any of that take root? That's nice. That's pleasant. Does it translate into real excitement at the yard? We'll see. Okay. Compared to last year when, everything was a mess. The ticket prices were so high and people were starting to realize, oh, you can get tickets. There's a lot of tickets available. Well, and why did I pay so much for the tickets that I got? Last year was just across the board. It was a lot of sorting things out and very messy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as messy this year.
Well, it is the home opener, so, 916-339-1140. Who's in the car right now on your way to Sutter Health Park? Jay, how are you? I know, Jay, you got 2 ears, one ear in the building, 1 ear in the streets.
Yeah, I do have 2 ears.
I was going to get there.
Blessings.
I was going to
think he's Van Gogh or something?
You say blessings?
Blessed to have 2 ears. I am.
That's great.
Oh, you
Very
got one,
blessed.
Jay? How many
Thankful.
noses you got over there? One?
Just one.
Yeah. Jay,
just one.
2
Thankful and
nostrils,
blessed.
though.
Yeah.
Jay,
Feet, hands. Thank you, Lord.
Jay, you got 1 ear in the industry, 1 ear
Yes,
in the
sir.
streets. What are you hearing about the A's this season?
As far as?
Any more excitement than normal or no?
Yeah, I think the same.
Okay.
I think the same. I haven't really heard anything out of the ordinary as far as compared to last year. I thought we heard, there was a group of people who were super excited. Mm-hmm. I had shared a story. One of my best friends, one of my best friends in his family had went in on season tickets. Remember that, Whitey?
Yeah.
And they paid the licensing fees and all that. And then, 2 weeks in,
for
it
like
was
3 years or whatever.
Yeah, they did the 3-year commitment. It's like, what are we doing here? And then you had the group where kind of like ho-hum. We'll see how it plays out. I think it's more even keel, fellas, this year compared to, the aspirations of last year. So I really haven't heard much, Alan. I don't know, man. How about around the ballpark? Is,
like I said,
any more excitement?
Yeah, the employees and those that are, obviously want the place to be rocking and rolling, because I do think that the arrival of the A's has affected the River Cats a little bit. So I think a lot of the employees are obviously excited for the A's to get there. It's packed. You know what I mean? If you're out here, I know some of the guys that are, out there mixing the bevies, and the tips got to be just out of this world, compared to what they were probably getting before the River Cats. And now, especially where the River Cats are kind of battling with the A's, I know they're all excited for it, but those are employees, But as far as fans are concerned, I mean, I definitely haven't seen anything different on social media.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing, because I feel obligated to watch their games when I can, and I am interested. I've been a fan of the A's since they first came here in '68. But as somebody who rooted for the Oakland A's and as somebody who lives in Sacramento, I'm offended on both fronts. You left Oakland, okay, you're not staying here. So as a Sacramento resident, I'm kind of offended by that. I don't blame the players at all, but it's just so weird.
Yeah.
I just don't feel any kind of attachment other than, well, it is still the A's, and I don't know what's going to happen with all this. I'm rooting for the players, but it's just odd. The whole thing is odd.
I'm Alan, I know you were asking this question a couple of days ago. You hadn't had the conversation with us, but that's the same way I feel. Everything that Whitey has said, as growing up as an Oakland A's fan and an A's fan, just talking about the organization, the green and the gold. I only went to one game last year, and that was because our fellow drive guy Draper was throwing out the first pitch.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the only game I went to last year.
That was worth the price of admission.
Well, yeah.
Has that come down yet? That ball?
This moon, what did Gaylord Perry say about the moon? So
Alan, it's the only time I've ever seen in the history of the ceremonial first pitch where the catcher was like, fair catch.
Wow.
Never saw that before.
Come on, Drapes.
Cold blood. It's cold blood.
Be an athlete, Drapes.
Hey, you leave it to him.
He got it done.
He threw a 12-6. It was like it was getting ready to break, but the catcher went up and got it. Like, he didn't do a good framing job. Drapes would have said
He's
that.
like, the ABS.
Or CB Buckner.
Right. Yeah.
I just, for me, Whitey said everything that I could say. There's no attachment as an A's fan to this team, and I don't blame the players. I don't blame the people who work at the stadium. I don't blame, within the organization, the people that can control it. This really kind of, and I'm being careful, but I guess it comes up to, a few people in the organization. It truly does. It comes down to a few people in the organization who are making the decisions. And unfortunately, just like I talked about Adam Silver, on a way higher level, I just have disdain for what's going on with the A's. And I can kind of see them getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like a scorn lover, right? I'm not going to put no type of effort into what's
Because
going
MLB
on.
has disrespected us.
Yes.
They really, MLB really has.
Right.
You're a fan of the Oakland A's? We don't really care.
Yeah. What the Padres doing?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it feels
They
like
lost today.
It feels like there is a level of, I've heard through the grapevine that the A's might be good because Nick Kurtz, Rookie of the Year, Jacob Wilson was right there. So I will say that. I have heard, for the casual fan, I have heard a bit of a buzz there. I heard that they might be pretty good this year, or, definitely better. But, besides that, I think, guys, what we're seeing here is a lot. The rest of the crew, the rest of the 916-530 crew crossing it off their bucket list. I think that's what we're going to see this year. And if they get good, I don't know if Sacramento will care or not. I believe they will, but I don't know.
And also, real fast, please fan how you want to fan. Just because I feel a certain way or Stretchy feels a certain way Go to all the games that you want to. As you talked about, Alan, if that's how, if enjoyment is brought to you by going to the game, rooting for the A's, and if you're going to follow the A's to Vegas or you're going to bleed green and gold forever, more power to you. Yeah. Please, more power to you. Do what makes you feel happy. Do what, do the things that you enjoy.
I know a lot of people have said, this might be the last opening night in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be at least one more.
I do too.
And maybe it's not going to be as scheduled next year, but I think there's going to be one more.
Yeah, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the Kings and the Pelicans. Also, Paul Gutierrez is going to join us from Raiders.com. We know what the Raiders see in Kirk Cousins. What does Kirk Cousins see in the Raiders? We'll find out next for you, Alan, on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on. Treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Odds are this is a big night for the Kings. We'll look at that bottom of the hour, taking you to game night because we got the Kings and the Pelicans tonight. But first, Alan keeps saying, we got to talk more Raiders. We got to talk more Raiders. We got to talk more Raiders. Don't you get a little tired of it, Jay?
I do, but I love the next guest. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice stuff to join us, Alan. Are you happy? More Raiders here.
I am.
Yeah.
I am very, very happy.
Yeah. We welcome back to the Drive Guys from Raiders.com, the great Paul Gutierrez. How are you today, Paul?
I'm doing good, but it sounds like you guys don't want to talk any Raiders. So what do you want to talk about?
Don't listen to them, Paul. Come on, Paul. Don't listen to them.
Yeah. It's been a big week, obviously, and more big weeks to come with the draft coming up. I wanted to know, Paul, we think we know what the Raiders see in Kirk Cousins. What do you think Kirk Cousins sees in the Raiders? Why did he agree to sign with them?
Yeah, guys, I'll stop you there because I've already I haven't been burned, so to speak, but if we learned anything from the Max Crosby chronicles of earlier in the offseason, nothing is official until it's official.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
So that's the way I'm kind of taking things. Until the team actually announces it, I am not going to say it's happening. Now, there's lots of reports out there, and I'm more than happy to talk about the reports of Kirk Cousins. Makes all the sense in the world if it indeed happens, because that is exactly what Clint Kubiak and John Spicek talked about at the owners' meetings. I was sitting right next to both of them at the meetings when they had breakfast the other day. And they basically been giving everybody the playbook, the blueprint, what they want to do. And Clint Kubiak said it himself. He said, look, in a perfect world, a rookie quarterback is not starting week one. He's sitting and he's learning from a veteran, an adult, he said, who can show him how to run the show. So if you're putting those things together and 1 + 1 still equals 2, yeah, I'm all aboard, and it makes all the sense in the world. I love it.
Paul, going back to, look, I'm a Raider fan, man, and I was 12 years old when the Raiders lost to the Bucs, and ever since then, all I hold on to is what if Derek Carr's foot didn't get broken in 2016. So it's been a rough go, yeah. Paul. And I'm
that sounds like a really pathetic existence, by the way.
What? No. Don't start. Paul, come on. Look, we have a guest, Whitey.
I know, I'm sorry.
Don't start. We have a guest. Paul, but from my point of view, I'm be honest with you. I'm dang near uncomfortable with how much sense the Raiders are making right now with everything that they've been doing. And they just seem like an organization that's buttoned up and there's not going to be a lot of question marks. Is it weird at all that the Raiders right now are making so much sense?
I think the short answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
You said you were 12 years old when the Raiders lost to the Bucs in the Super Bowl. I was 13 when they won the Super Bowl back in 1984, January of 84. So that shows my age. That shows my experience around this team. Yeah, this is the first time in a long time where you can sit back and say the Raiders are winning the offseason. Does it matter in the fall and winter? No, not at all. But it's been fun watching this happen, report on it, write on it, go on the Raiders YouTube channel and talk about it. You see a lot of the things that they're doing make sense. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Are we in the upside down? What's going on here? Because there's been a lot of time when it hasn't. And even last year, you hesitate to use this phrase, but there was an adult in the room last year and things felt different with Pete Carroll there. But once they got to camp and once the season started, you felt like, okay, these guys aren't all pulling in the same direction. There's some different ideologies at work here. There's some different ideas going on. This time, at least, it seems like they're all on the same page. They're all pulling in the right direction. Now we'll find out if it's the right page, when the season begins. Because there's two different things between being on the same page and being on the right page, right? So this whole offseason, and that's how cool it is to have that number one pick. You never really want to have the number one pick ever again, right? Because that means you had a terrible season. But to be the center of discussion, to be the center of the NFL universe, it's a pretty cool deal right now because they were on the lips and on the eyes and in the eyes and on the minds of everybody at the NFL owners meetings because of that number one overall pick.
You guys are youngsters. Yeah, you guys are youngsters. When the Raiders beat Fran Tarkenton and the Vikings in '77, I was 53 years old. So I had just turned 53. So I don't want to hear about it. Paul Gutierrez, nice enough to join us. What stood out from Fernando's pro day to you?
It was really, I wasn't there. I was at the owners' meetings, but then I came back home, and I think number one, what stood out to me was the amount of Raiders brass that took the trip to Bloomington to watch him. Number two, though, it was watching the throwing and watching that session and the 60-plus throws that he got off was him at the line of scrimmage calling out the play, calling out the pattern, calling out the name of the receiver. And that's something that not a lot of teams have seen. Usually it's just go out there, put on a show, and do everything. and Fernando Mendoza, he's got some kind of, it's hyperbole, obviously, but there's kind of a beautiful mind thing at play with him, the way he sees the field, the way he communicates, the way he talks, and the way he actually is able to make it happen. And if you saw any of those interviews after the pro day, he said it wasn't necessarily about him because he wants to be the best quarterback in the fall, not on his pro day, but he wanted to elevate and showcase his guys to get them better draft slots. So I thought that was pretty unique, and that's really what stood out to me.
Yeah, Paul, I guess we would be remiss, as you did mention Max Crosby, I guess we would be remiss not to bring up where that is now. Are we done? Are we just going to talk about Fernando Mendoza now? I know you mentioned how obviously there were reports and then we thought it was done and then it wasn't done. Is Max Crosby gonna stay in the black and silver? Is that, well, I don't want to say for sure, but does it seem like he's going to stay in the black and silver when the next season starts and moving forward?
And could that all actually end up working in the Raiders' favor?
Again, yes to all of it. Because, well, number one, it's the silver and black. So there we go. That's the number one thing we're talking about, right? So the silver and black, and I'm just kind of picking nits here with that. Sure, but, for what it is, I mean, yeah, he's back in the building now. He was back in the building the next day doing what Max does, being the first guy in the building, being the last guy out, working out, making it happen. Now, there's going to be an adjustment period here because for how many years now Max Crosby has been the face of the franchise. And probably because he had to be, right? Because there's been a lack of leadership in that locker room for a while because of the constant locker room turnover. Now, when they've hit free agency the way they have, and when Fernando Mendoza shows up and the quarterback is inevitably going to be the face of the franchise, how now does that work out? So as of today, yes, that is the plan going forward. And if you really think about it, would you rather have a five-time Pro Bowl edge rusher who's already in the building? Or would you rather have that number 16 and, 2 first-round draft picks to go with it? It kind of depends upon which way you want to go. They're always going to be listening. John Spytek said it himself. They're happy to have him back. Mark Davis said the same thing. He told me at the end of the owners' meetings that, he never wanted to lose him in the first place. So he's glad that he's back. And he was only gone for a couple of days anyway. So there's going to be an interesting learning, not necessarily a learning curve, but an adjustment period. Because a lot of things were said and done on social media in that time frame. But, hey, as Clint Kubiak said, he could get up from the breakfast table that day and they could trade him. So the NFL, for whatever reason, stands for not for long.
That's Paul Gutierrez from Raiders.com. As Martin Ramirez points out here in the chat, Clint Kubiak worked with Cousins in Minnesota. I'm asking you to guess here, Paul, because obviously we got a lot of things we got to sort out yet, but what do you guess will be the most noticeable difference in Clint Kubiak's Raiders when we actually watch them play? How do you expect they'll look the most different?
I think there's going to be a certain discipline to the offense. And the offensive line is going to look better because it can't look any worse than it did last year. And there's going to be a lot more emphasis on playing. I mean, really, if you want to just look at the Seahawks offense last year. And it's funny because when it comes to Clint Kubiak, this is his 6th different team in the past 6 years. So take a little bit of Seattle last year. Take New Orleans the year before that. Take Minnesota before that. Take little pieces of that and just kind of, shake it up, throw it out there in silver and black, and that's what it's going to look different. That's how it's going to look different, at least if everybody's healthy, if everybody's bought in, and if everybody's on the same page and pulling in the same direction.
Paul, when it comes to the Raiders, I know we've talked about Fernando Mendoza, but the rest of the draft, they drafted a wide receiver last draft, and, he didn't play a ton. You look at the Seahawks, and obviously they got JSN, and they feed him all day. Brock Bowers is a beast. We understand that, and Ashton Genty, they got to get that line right. But do you think that the Raiders are looking for that prototypical number one wide receiver, or do they think, hey, this is a Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty show, and we'll fill the rest out how we fill it out?
Yeah, it's interesting. They not only drafted Jack Bash in the second round last year, but they also got the big-bodied speedster in Dante Thornton as well. They still got Trey Tucker, who's kind of like the gadget, go gadget guy. Somebody to keep an eye on in the draft, as far as the conspiracy theorist that I am, is Zachariah Branch, formerly USC, went to Georgia. He's got the Raider DNA in him because his great uncle was Cliff Branch, and he's from Vegas himself. Went to Bishop Gorman, so he's a guy that I could see would be that legacy pick, so to speak, in the second or third round if he's still there. If the Raiders did have those 2 first-rounders and an early second, I could totally see them drafting him there. But you're right. They don't have that prototypical wide receiver one. But if you have Brock Bowers and you got Michael Mayer and you're running a lot of 12 personnel with the 2 tight ends, why would you need that? So that's what's interesting about how does Clint Kubiak's offense fit with the personnel at his disposal. Again, it all starts with the offensive line. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kirk Cousins, it's going to be one of the funnier things if it indeed comes to fruition, Fernando Mendoza in that quarterback room, because it's going to be a whole lot of gosh darn it in that locker room. And, kind of similar when Derek Carr first came into the league. But, it's exciting and it's fun. And like you guys mentioned earlier, this has been a bizarre offseason because the Raiders I'm not saying they've been doing the right things, but to hear national media look at the Raiders and say they're doing the right thing, that's what's unusual.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Zachariah Branch. You mentioned Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch, I remember playing in that Super Bowl in '77.
When you were 53.
Yeah, 32-14. What a game for the Raiders. Paul Gutierrez.
Old Man Willie.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for your time. Old Man Whitey and Old Man Willie. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it. We always enjoy talking with you. Thanks for the insight. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Same to you guys. And next time we'll talk UNLV Rebels or we'll talk West Sacramento A's if you don't want to talk Raiders.
Hey, I'll tell you this much, Paul. I'm on your Twitter page right now. We're not talking Dodgers, Paul. We can't do it.
Fair enough.
Thanks,
See you, Paul. Take it
Take
easy.
care, guys.
Yeah. That's like got to be a sore spot because his wife is Amy G and she was with the Giants and
that's right
forever.
That's
and
right.
I think she still may be doing something with the Giants.
Yep,
So
I just saw that.
She's a GM for a minor league team, I think, something like that.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great stuff from Paul.
Yeah. You feel excited.
Yeah,
now
but
as a
I got
fan.
I got called out. I said black and silver. Silver and black.
Yeah, I know.
I got to get that.
Right.
I got to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll never make that mistake again. See, that's what.
That was just kind of careless.
But that's what Casey Schmidt had to deal with and Matt Chapman. You get called out. I'm not going to do that again.
Okay. There
you know
go.
what I mean?
Learn from your mistakes.
That's the way it is. Whitey, you know what I was thinking the whole time Paul was talking, and he was just incredible. The whole time I'm listening to him talk about the meetings that he was at and how the Raiders are the talk of the town. They get the first pick. I'm going back to this idea that it was just a couple months removed where Max Crosby was ticked off at the Raiders. They made him sit. Ended up not mattering because the Giants lost, but at the time, the New York Giants, we did not know that. The Raiders now get the first pick. They get to keep Max Crosby, and they're ready to rock and roll, and now everybody is taking them seriously. Now, we discussed how legacy matters, and the Raiders have a different legacy and history than the Kings. I'm not trying to compare those two. But to go back and listen to Paul and how you can turn around your narrative fairly quickly. They haven't done anything yet, but just to turn around your narrative in your sport, in the sports world fairly quickly, and to go back to some of the people we've listened to or seen on social media talking about how the odds don't matter, and I know the lottery is different in the NBA, but to hear the way Paul is glowing talking about the Raiders and how fun things are, and just a couple months ago they were getting their butts whooped against the Cowboys, and to sit here and think that Kings may have tricked it off for guys, for veterans that they appreciate and care about, but ultimately you got to think about your future.
So this is about the Raiders did it right, and the King. You're worried about the Kings.
It just all it made me think is
laughing
they
and
went
spitting
back
in the face of the odds,
and they went back and forth. And hey, he's a football player. Let Max play football. And seemingly, it's all worked out for the Raiders because they know how it works. It's more simple in football because there's no lottery. But Whitey, there's a part of me that thinks the Kings would have done this anyway, even without the lottery.
Well, first of all, I know Ramsey's in there. Ramsey very excited because the Raiders are one of his 17 very favorite teams.
You gotta stop. It's only 4. It's only 4.5.
It's like both Central Division, the North divisions, and the AFC
Falcons.
West.
Don't forget the Falcons.
That's right.
And the Bears.
That's right.
It's just the Bears, the Falcons, and the Raiders.
I think there's like 14.
There might be one more.
But anyway.
You know who else he liked?
Who?
The Cubs.
That's right.
Oh, come on.
Don't do that to me, Ramsey. Don't do that to me.
But be that as it may, to your point, I do think the evidence shows it's easier for an NFL team to turn things around quickly.
That's fair.
Yeah. Some of that is the luck, the bounce of the ball, year to year. Sometimes a team, they're unfortunate they have a better roster than it looks, and then, you add a few pieces in the draft, and then man, how'd they turn it around? Well, in the
That's
NFL.
fair.
Yeah. But we'll see. People were very excited about the Raiders this time last year. I don't know about you, and I don't know about Paul, but Raider fans.
Well, you didn't hear about. Did you ever hear my take?
I probably did, but I don't recall.
The Geno in a dome take.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, who was excited?
Yeah.
But the Geno in the dome.
That's right.
No. The Geno in a dome take was.
Yes.
But that had numbers. That was scientific method.
Okay. All I said was people were excited last year.
Yeah, I'm just telling
I didn't say you were wrong.
My excitement was based on numbers. Not, not feelings, facts. He was better he was Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Colts Peyton Manning in a dome.
Sure.
Until he wasn't.
Yeah. You thought you had some very hard evidence. Yeah. And it turned out it didn't come through for you. That's all I'm saying is, I know you're excited now, and you should be. That's the fun of being a fan.
But I didn't want Geno. I did not want Geno. I wanted Shador, personally. I did not want Geno. But then when I saw the dome splits.
I do remember that, yes.
I said, hey, maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
And that part of it was wrong.
All I'm saying is, and I have nothing against the Raiders, but it sounds like you're already assuming, man, we're on our way.
Well, on our way means it's not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to be excited to watch football. I know some spots, Jay, and I know you're going to help me with me. Some establishments that are Raider-friendly in Sacramento. And I would love to frequent, but I ain't frequenting when you're getting your doors blown off by the Cowboys. Look, I got to get a hall pass to go out, and we're going to see, some nice comedy, Frank Caliendo. I'm not getting a
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not going out to get I'm not giving up a hall pass to watch the Raiders get their doors blown off.
What, in your view, I'm not challenging you, asking the question. I'm just asking, what did the Raiders do that the Kings have not done in your view?
Well, they committed to the tank. They knew, Pete, they fired. I'm not saying to move on from Doug Christie, but they fired Pete. They fired his son. They said, get up out of here. They got rid of Geno, which Geno. I'm not going to compare him to an NBA player because we've got this far. It's been a great show. But they did all the things that we don't know if the Kings are going to do. To be honest with you, they just said, you know what? Enough is enough. And the reason I bring up the Raiders again is because they are another team that didn't want to do it. They didn't have to do it. They're making money hand over foot. And they eventually said, you know what, guys?
Isn't it hand over fist?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Okay.
Tomato, potato. At some point in time.
I've heard hand over foot. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's a Southern thing. Ask Kayla. Ask Kayla.
Okay.
You know what, guys? At some point in time, we just got to stink up the joint and restart. And to them, look, and Fernando Mendoza, people are questioning how good he's going to be, whatever. They said, we're already here, let's do it. The Kings said, we're already here, let's trick it off maybe.
By the way, don't you think there's a good chance Kirk Cousins is the quarterback for most of the year?
Not most. I don't think most. Nah, man.
I mean, that's why they're bringing him in. If he plays well and they're winning by chance. I'm thinking of, when Alex Smith, of course, Alex had been there a while, when Alex Smith was the quarterback, and then the last game of the year, they give way to Mahomes, and then okay, he's on his way.
Can you imagine, guys, if the Kings do get the luck of the draw, odds ever be in their favor? Can you imagine? You got the Raiders with the first pick. You got the Kings with the top 3 pick in a historic draft, and you just happen to be a fan of the Giants, a top 3 brand in baseball.
2 of those teams are, one's local, one's semi-local, and the other one plays in another
and
state.
Even if you're the A's, or guys, if you're an A's fan, one of the most lethal lineups in baseball.
I'm not sure where you're going.
This thing could turn around for you pretty quick. I know everybody. What do we see on the chat all the time?
You're the guy that just said, boy, the A's. Excuse me. You just said the Kings didn't do it right.
But they still could get lucky. I'm saying this thing. Every time we see somebody, Alan, it's been a tough life, brother. I'm Kings, Raiders, A's. Well, fear not, right? Hey. Why are we arguing about something we don't know the odds yet? We don't know. We don't know what happened.
My friend Alan said that the Kings haven't done this.
They haven't, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work out for you.
Wisely. By the way, right now we have a chance for you to win tickets to see Tom Papa at Channel 24. Win a pair of tickets to see Tom Papa, Channel 24, November 6th. November 6th. So you want to call in to win. More info and tickets at channel24sac.com. What number you looking for, Alan?
Caller number 4.
Caller 4.
Caller number 4.
Caller 4, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Tom Papa at Channel 24. Thanks for listening, and good luck. What do you want to see from the Kings tonight? I want to see Max Raynaud and Derek Queen going at it.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that last time, and I want to see more of it. Whitey, I just have one more check for you. I know they don't play for a couple hours, but, just in case there were any surprises, no new names. And if you're just now joining us, all the usual suspects as far as who is out. Baldwin Jr., Eubanks, Hunter, Levine. Monk is the new name that's on that list. Personal reasons, if you were curious. Keegan Murray, DeMontis Sabonis, Isaiah Stevens, Russell Westbrook. Out for the Pelicans, Matt Kovic is still questionable. Bryce McGowan's is out. Why do I feel like he might have cooked the Kings last time? Trey Murphy III is probable. And DeJounte Murray, we will not get to see DeJounte Murray, right Achilles injury management. So couple names for the Pelicans, but Zion, who tends to own the Kings, Zion should be out there doing his thing. And Trey Murphy's going to be out there chucking. And like you said, Derek Queen. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, defensively, I do want to see, when there's a lefty, you always joke, Whitey. I mean, Zion and James Harden are the two most obvious or well-known lefties, I think, in the league. Is anybody, I want to see, you know what I want to see?
What do you want to see?
I want to see my boy, the Beast, Precious Achiuwa,
the Beast,
guarding.
Your guy now.
Guarding Zion Williamson. I want to see him muscle milk him up. That's what I want to see.
A short time ago, the Kings had the worst record in the NBA, and therefore they were on pace for the best lottery odds. Right now, Washington is in first place in the lottery standings. Brooklyn second, tied with Indiana. The Kings are fourth. It's going to be tough to move up with only 5 games to go. Utah is just a game behind them. So clearly, when you look at the records, last 10, Washington 1-9, Brooklyn 1-9, Indiana 3-7, Utah 1-9, Kings 4-6. Clearly, for whatever reason, the Kings have decided, we're not committed to the tank. Why? What? Yeah, go ahead.
Nets getting smacked by the Hawks. Pacers getting smacked by the Hornets.
Yeah.
Jazz Rockets just started. That's the one, though, because if anyone's going to trick off a game they have no business losing, it's Ime Udoka.
Really?
So you never know.
This could get dicey. The Kings could slide into the 5th spot. What are some possible reasons why the Kings have decided, we're not that worried about it? Could it be, okay, I'll give you one. Given the roster that they have with all the veterans, it's difficult to put those lineups on the floor every night that give you a really good chance to lose, like some of the other teams have done.
Over half of them vets on the bench or out for the season.
I know, but you still have Precious. Precious is not a young scrub. Precious is an NBA veteran. And DeMar, you still have to play somebody. I'm just trying to guess. I'm not defending it. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why. Some of it could be, I know some fans are screaming, the culture, they want to win for the culture. Yeah. That's a possible reason.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, this Raptors one, look, it's not even necessarily about the Raptor game, because the Raptors played like trash. Yeah. They had injuries.
Right.
And you're going to let DeMar do his thing, and Precious balled out. It's more so about just the decisions. I think, Whitey, when you look at the season, there were certain things that were baked out, right? That Clippers game, or anytime they're in LA, they're going to let them run, right? They're going to let them do their thing. This Raptors game, they were going to let DeMar run. It's some of the other decisions that they've made. So now, I mean, Russ ain't playing no more. People that wanted the tank, there's really not much to complain about at this point. So yeah, it's easy to say, man, what are they doing? And I think I was guilty of this as well. Man, what are they doing letting DeMar do all this? But this is the type of stuff that they were already baked into. If you beat a playoff team, the Raptors, who were missing guys, but you beat a playoff team on the road in the 6 with just Precious and DeMar DeRozan, I mean, what are you going to do?
Remember a few weeks ago, they thumped the Clippers in L.A. thumped them. I think this is what makes the most sense to me. It's a guess, but this is my best guess. I think the Kings look at the odds and they figure, you know what? Even if we're 5th, certainly if we're 4th, our chances of getting the first pick, they don't go down that much. And given how much we like all the players in this draft, what's the worst that could happen if we're 4th? You know, there's a slim chance we pick 8th. We are really happy 1 through 7 with this draft. Yeah. Why do we want to humiliate ourselves with what we have? We're just not as bad as some of these other teams that are totally committed to tanking.
I just think it's the last thing you said, why do we want to humiliate ourselves? I think to me, that's the last thing you need to be worrying about because nobody cares.
Okay, yeah. But again, I'm just trying to guess what their thinking is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're right. I'm just trying to guess. Why are they doing this?
Yeah. I mean, look, they clearly care about, and that's why I keep asking everybody, you know, are the Kings going to draft a center? Or are they going to draft another shooting guard? You know, how much do they care about these young players if they're willing to chance their draft position or at least their lottery odds in order to make sure they know what winning feels like?
They're going to end up with like the 8th or 9th pick, and it's going to be Yaxel Lendeborg.
Well, he fits their timeline.
But even a guy like Burries is going to go somewhere around 6 or 7, huh?
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Right.
So that's my guess. I think they're looking at it going, you know what? We're good either way. We could get lucky in the draft, but let's not humiliate ourselves.
They can feel like that. And hopefully we all, like I said, I hope people like me, we're all wrong. We're all wrong, and they get the first pick.
There are no people like you. You're one of a kind.
That's true.
You're one of one.
That's also true.
Yeah. Who do you have winning in the Final Four tomorrow?
Michigan.
Wrong.
I think I want to see.
What do you think, Jay?
I want to see Illinois. I want to see Illinois cook. I'm done with UConn. Hurley, the headbutt. Get me out of here.
I have this feeling.
Michigan to lie now.
Yeah. UConn is going to go that zone, and they're going to, one thing about them, they've been through these games, and I can see them slowing it down, and the Fighting Illini get a little, antsy-like when the game slows down. I wouldn't put it past UConn to sneak by, but because of Tony Bray Harvey, I'm going to go Fighting Illini.
Okay.
And Arizona.
Wow.
Arizona's
we'll see.
Good. Arizona's just better.
Yeah.
They are, aren't they?
We'll see.
Deep.
Koa Pete.
All right, we've got game night coming up next. Thanks for being with us all week. Have a great weekend. And Jay Ross has game night for us coming up next on Sactown Sports.
Happy Friday, my friends. Johnny Mosley here. Toyota and I are back to walk you through today's weather.
It's time for Friday's Toyota Tahoe Report. Yes, let's see what Mother Nature's got on the menu.
Thanks, Johnny. Sunny skies take over Palisades Tahoe on Friday with highs near 50 degrees and calm winds. Perfect condition to enjoy that fresh snow. Saturday warms into the mid-50s with afternoon clouds. A great weekend to get up on the mountain. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown.